Chapter 1799. Who? Ma Tiantu looked at Yuan Ji and asked. Song Ning of the Ethereal Dynasty. I want to kill her clone and capture her real body. Yuan Ji's words were cold, and even the temperature in the city lord's residence dropped. What cultivation level? Don't tell me she's an emperor? If she's an emperor, we can't do anything because we don't have an emperor among us. The highest cultivation level among those who came through the passage is an emperor. Ma Tiantu looked at Yuan Ji and said, not an emperor, but an emperor. Yuan Ji shook his head. Song Ning had become his sore point. He knew that if Song Ning found him, she would kill him. Cultivation level is an emperor? That's fine. For a pleasant cooperation, and to show our sincerity, we'll help you with this. However, you have to investigate the information carefully. You can't let us fall into a trap. Ma Tiantu thought for a while and said. He hoped that Yuan Ji could sincerely serve the Demon Wing clan, so he planned to help Yuan Ji with this. Thank you. I've been dreaming of this. Therefore, I'll definitely take care of the information. Yuan Ji nodded. Then, Ma Tiantu and Yuan Ji talked about the second cooperation. Yuan Ji was clear about the development of the forces in Star Moon Lake. Therefore, he planned to infiltrate the forces in Star Moon Lake with his subordinates. All right. As long as we can infiltrate one of them, it doesn't matter if their cultivation level is low. We can use the spatial treasure to bring our experts into Night Sorrow's world. By then, we'll rule his world. You can take revenge however you want. You like women. Night Sorrow has a few beautiful wives. Ma Tiantu said. Yuan Ji laughed. He felt that the future prospects were very good. If he took down Song Ning secretly, he would blame it on the Demon Wing clan. In addition, if he took down Night Sorrow's world, he would have another stronghold to hide in. Divination wasn't omnipotent. For example, the teleportation array between the realm and the celestial realm had an illusion array around it. Even if it was divination, one couldn't see the surroundings or determine the location. As long as one wanted to hide, they could hide. Yuan Ji sent people to investigate and provided some identities for the Demon Wing clan, so that they could appear freely in the celestial realm. Ma Tiantu and the others entered the celestial realm with broken wings and horns, so they looked no different from humans. Ma Tiantu's people, except for his original body, who was in the celestial wasteland, the others came with his original body and avatars. This was because the space passage had a spatial treasure. The space passage had its original body and his avatars. As for using a spatial magic treasure to carry a cultivator through a spatial tunnel, that was unrealistic. Even in a spatial magic treasure, the energy contained in the cultivator's body would create pressure on the spatial tunnel. This was the law of the heavenly Tao. Of course, the teleportation array was a different situation. It used the energy law of the teleportation stone. Mo Tiantu was an elder of the Demon Wing clan. He was already a high-ranking member. The clan could not allow his true body to take the risk of being killed. Besides, he had to receive orders from the clan. Therefore, his true body did not come. The rest of the members went through the space passage together with their true body and doppelgangers. Ma Tiantu sent Sha Mo to the divine capital to look for Jun Xuanji. He asked Sha Mo to find a reason to follow Jun Xuanji, even if he had to lower himself. He had to help Jun Xuanji reach the Emperor realm at all costs. Before Jun Xuanji reached the Emperor realm, he could not mention anything about the Demon Wing clan. Mo Tianji had told Ma Tiantu and the others that she was sure Jun Xuanji was her avatar. She had to help Jun Xuanji rise. If she could not get her original body back, her original body's soul would move into the new body. Her strength would not be affected too much. If she got her original body back, she could merge the two and her strength would increase greatly. Sha Mo went with his original body. His avatar stayed with Ma Tiantu so that he could report to him. Sha Mo also brought some things prepared by Mo Tianji, such as books and resources. Yi Shang didn't know about these things. His state of mind was very stable. For him, there were human almighties watching over the affairs of the human race. The city lord of Tianhuang City and King Yawu were both peerless giants. Below them was the council of elders of the human race. As an imperial emperor, he could take care of himself. The 9 regions world and Star Moon Lake were developing well. He did not need to worry about them. What are you thinking about? Lin Piaomiao asked when she saw Night Sorrow's eyes were a little dazed. Nothing. I just feel that it's not right to push Uncle Master away, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Haha, I never thought that I would be able to cultivate on Yawa Mountain or with my husband. Lin Piaomiao's face was filled with happiness. I didn't think about it either because I used to think that the highest level cultivators could reach was supremacy. Who would have thought that after becoming a supremacy, I would have to charge towards the Saint Realm? Yishang also smiled. When he looked back, there were some things he admired himself for. Have some tea first. I'll go tidy up the hut. Lin Piaomiao blushed. It was time for the two of them. Let's do it together. Night Sorrow smiled and followed Lin Piaomiao to tidy up the hut. Night Sorrow, I want a child. But it's hard for an emperor to have a descendant. Not to mention, you're an emperor who cultivates the body. I'm an emperor, Lin Piaomiao said softly. Have you thought about it? Mortals can only have children for a few decades. Young and old can't do it. But what about us? We have an endless lifespan. If 10 years is not enough, we can have 100 years. If 100 years is not enough, we can have 1,000 years. If that's not enough, what about 1,000,000 years? Night Sorrow hugged Lin Piaomiao and whispered, Are you trying to torture me to death? By the way, you don't mind that I kicked you that day, right? Lin Piaomiao looked up at Night Sorrow and asked, Why would I? I'm just a rank 9 emperor. Other than me, no one else would be kicked off the bed by the bride. Night Sorrow's face was full of smiles. I thought you wouldn't be happy if you didn't say it. I've always wanted to explain it to you. But with someone else around, it wasn't convenient. I won't do it again. Lin Piaomiao said softly. Sister Xian. Marriage is about supporting and relying on each other. There's no need to feel apologetic or guilty about some things. I married you because I want to give you happiness. This will not change. Night Sorrow patted Lin Xianer's back and said, I knew I didn't choose the wrong person. I'll make it up to you tonight. Lin Piaomiao said to Night Sorrow. Yongfei. Z looked at the little $3 and said, Sister Xian. I feel that it's not appropriate to do that at the peak of Yawa Mountain. This is where the human race's destiny is. It's blasphemous. Why don't we walk around the foot of the mountain? Since we have a spatial treasure, we can go in whenever we want. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1800. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao lived a sweet life. During the day, Lin Piaomiao would cultivate his spear art. At night, the two of them would go out for a walk and spend the night in other places. The main reason was that they were in awe of the Providence Dragon at the peak of Yawa Mountain. After a month of such days, Night Sorrow's anxious state of mind calmed down. He also planned to cultivate in seclusion for the second time. Lin Piaomiao supported Night Sorrow's decision. Imosti new chapter %% section. %# then, Night Sorrow went to his original cultivation place and started his second seclusion. When Night Sorrow's power of merit was activated, the energy eruption at the peak of Yawa Mountain intensified once again. The energy eruption at the peak of Yawa Mountain was different from energy eruptions in other environments. After the energy eruption of Yawa Mountain reached the sky, it stirred up the will of heaven and earth, and the momentum of heaven and earth. After a cycle, it would fall back into Yawa Mountain. It was the horn of the Providence Dragon. It was where the energy would not leak, and would not become the weakness of the Providence Dragon. As Night Sorrow cultivated, Lin Piaomiao also sat down and started cultivating. Night Sorrow's heaven and earth vision was very beneficial to her. Most importantly, the energy here contained the providence power of the human race. While Yi Shiwen's main body was cultivating in seclusion, Night Sorrow's clone was still cultivating his spear art every day. On Night Sorrow's day, King Yawu came while he was cultivating his spear art. After stopping his cultivation, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea for King Yawu. Uncle Master is here. Nothing much. I just came to see you. How have you been recently? King Yawu took a sip of tea and savored it carefully. After relaxing my state of mind, I continued my seclusion. Uncle Master, you can go back. I won't know if any small fry went to see me. Night Sorrow said. He knew that King Yawu had stayed on Yawa Mountain for countless years, and might not be used to leaving. That's fine. I'll listen to you. I'll go back later. Your senior brother has passed the 5 tribulations of the heavenly Tao. He'll be able to improve faster if he goes back. King Yewu nodded. Then, King Yewu asked about Night Sorrow's spear practice and gave him a few pointers. Let's go for a walk. I'll introduce you to a few people, King Yewu said to Night Sorrow. Then King Yewu took Night Sorrow to the streets. Back then, when I was with your master, I would often go out with your master. Your master was arrogant when he was young. He only stabilized after he achieved something. Now you are the one accompanying me. King Yewu sighed. It's hard to find a bosom friend in life. Master has a brother like Uncle Master, so he won't have any regrets in his life, Night Sorrow said. You can't say that. I have no regrets having a disciple like you. King Yewu shook his head. King Yewu brought Night Sorrow to the City Lord's mansion. Inside the City Lord's mansion, the two of them sat and talked. When they saw King Yewu, the two of them stood up and greeted him. Of the two, one of them was someone Night Sorrow knew. It was the 7th elder, Lu Qi. The other was a white-haired elder that Night Sorrow had never seen before. Elder Lu Qi, you know him. He is the law enforcement elder of the Tianhuang city, and also the law enforcement elder of the divine capital city. The two cities can communicate with each other. This is Elder Yanqi. Elder Yanqi, this is my nephew Night Sorrow. After the introductions, King Yewu sat down on the city lord's big chair. Yanqi greets the young city lord. The white-haired elder cupped his hands at Night Sorrow. Elder Yan, please don't call me that. Just call me Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow quickly helped Yanqi up. Elder Yan, he is the same as Fun Tian. He doesn't care about these things. You don't have to call him young city lord. They have their own paths, King Yewu said to Yanqi. Yanqi understands. Yanqi nodded at King Yewu. Elder Yan, you know that Night Sorrow is the alliance master of the Humanitarian League. Night Sorrow is young, Pu Luo is more casual, and the Great Demon King is more flamboyant. They have a lawless personality. There is no problem with their nature. They are all talents of the human clan. If there is anything inappropriate, you can talk to Night Sorrow. King Yewu said. Yanqi understands. The Humanitarian League is developing fast and expanding very quickly. However, no matter what industry it is fair and just. There is no hegemony. From the overall situation, it is conducive to stability. They also voluntarily handed over some resources to the City Lord's mansion. I calculated that it should be 1/3 of their resource income. Yanqi reported to King Yewu. In that case, they only left a part of it because they also sent some resources to the Tianhuang city. Lu Qi said. He knew about the Tianhuang city. Night Sorrow, what's the situation? King Yewu looked at Night Sorrow. He really didn't know about these things. I didn't ask about the Humanitarian League. However, when the Humanitarian League was established, we said that the purpose of the Humanitarian League is to punish evil and promote good. It is to stabilize the foundation of the human clan. The resources should be decided by Elder Pu Luo and the others, Night Sorrow said. Punish evil and promote good. It is a good purpose to stabilize the foundation of the human clan. Elder Yan, you heard it. If there is a black-hearted force and the City Lord's mansion is not suitable to deal with it, you can ask Night Sorrow to deal with it. King Yewu said. Yanqi nodded. He knew that as King Yewu's nephew, Night Sorrow would not mess around. In addition, he also felt that Night Sorrow was easy to communicate with. That's enough. Who has wine? Take it out. King Yewu raised his chin at several people. The wine was naturally brought by Night Sorrow. After drinking a jar of wine in the City Lord's mansion, Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow didn't go to cultivate right away. Instead, he went to the hall of the Night Moon Villa. Who is this? Isn't this our cultivation maniac? Why are you free? Yuzhu asked Night Sorrow. Just now, I went to the City Lord's mansion and had a chat with Marshal Uncle and 2 stewards, Yishang said as he sat down. What's wrong? Is King Yewu dissatisfied with the Humanitarian League? Pu Luo asked Night Sorrow. We think we are fair enough. The Great Demon King's face darkened. You are thinking too much. Uncle Master introduced me to the 2 elders. They are very supportive of the development of the Humanitarian League, Night Sorrow said. I knew it. Who is King Yawu? He wouldn't accuse us, Yu Zhu said with a smile. Aside from Uncle Master, the two elders are also very satisfied. Who decided to give the resources? It's a good decision. As long as we have enough resources, we can give some to Tianhuang City and Chengdu City. This way, the human race will have more resources, Night Sorrow said. Everyone discussed it together. However, it's good to have you as the leader. You have insider information. Even if they are dissatisfied with us, they will let us know in advance. They won't attack us directly, Pu Luo said. The Humanitarian League is developing well and has a good reputation. Imperial emperors have come to join us. The general manager of the Humanitarian League already has 2 imperial emperors. The imperial emperor I sent has already returned, the Great Demon King said. Chapter 1801. Look at the pie on the F in Section Z of Chapter 8. Yes, there are 2 imperial emperors who joined the Human Dao sect. One of them is a peak-level imperial emperor. He took the initiative to say that he would protect you. After the imperial emperor under me came back to report to me, I told her to retreat, said the Great Demon King. That won't do. We don't know anything about the new monarchs. It's easy for problems to arise. Night Sorrow frowned, feeling that it wasn't safe. Night Sorrow, do you think there's a problem? The Great Demon King looked at Night Sorrow and asked, why would a peak monarch protect others so easily? Would you believe me if I said I didn't have any ulterior motives? Our Humanitarian League hasn't reached that level yet, Night Sorrow said. Then I'll arrange for them to go back and tell the head steward who can be trusted. If those 2 fellows have any ulterior motives, I'll crush them to death and make them regret coming to this world. The Great Demon King said with killing intent. The Demon Wing clan attacked Tianhuang City a few times, wanting to break through the blockade. Their goal is Mo Tianji's body, so their target is me. This caused us to become the center of the conflict, Night Sorrow said to the Great Demon King and the others. We really have to be careful. Who knows if the Demon Wing clan has any tricks up their sleeves? Great Demon King Yuzhu Ruisi, we're older than Night Sorrow. We have to be careful, Pu Luo said. The Great Demon King nodded. I'll make arrangements for this. Jun Xuanji is now in charge of the Humanitarian League's development. Nothing can happen to him. Also, he was sent by Night Sorrow. After that, Night Sorrow and the Great Demon King left Night Moon Villa together. The 2 of them first went to the stronghold of the Great Demon King's faction. The Great Demon King called over his female monarch. Liu Yu, this is Night Sorrow, the Alliance Lord of the Humanitarian League, the Merit Emperor. In the future, his orders will be the same as mine, the Great Demon King said to Monarch Liu Yu. Greetings, Alliance Master. Emperor Liu Yu bowed to Night Sorrow. Monarch Liu Yu is too polite. The situation is like this. I trust the Great Demon King, so I trust you. However, the new monarch of the Humanitarian League can't. I don't feel at ease, Night Sorrow said. Thank you for your trust, Alliance Master. Of those 2 monarchs, one of them used to be from the Divine Capital, so there shouldn't be any problems. However, Liu Yu doesn't know the other monarch, but he did everything perfectly. He even gave Manager Jun a cultivation technique. I felt that there was no problem, so Liu Yu reported to Sir Devil King. Liu Yu explained the situation to Night Sorrow. No problem, that's the biggest problem. You still have to go back and monitor the situation of those 2. Now that the Humanitarian League is developing smoothly, there can't be any internal problems. Thanks for your hard work. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Liu Yu. Lord Alliance Master is too polite. Thank you for your trust, Lord Alliance Master. Liu Yu will take note. Liu Yu nodded. Following this, Night Sorrow and the others arrived at the Humanitarian League's headquarters. The Region Lord is here. Seeing Night Sorrow, Jun Xuanji was very happy. How have you been? Night Sorrow smiled at Jun Xuanji, then found a seat and sat down. Very good, everything has been going well. Sir Devil King, please have a seat. Monarch Liu Yu, please have a seat. Jun Xuanji invited everyone to sit. At that moment, Night Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji's 2 guards. Chen Nua, Shaimo, this is the Humanitarian League's Alliance Master, Knight Sorrow, Jun Xuanji said to the two men standing beside him. Jun Xuanji said to the two men standing to the side. They were both monarchs and were Jun Xuanji's guards. Chen Nua greets the Alliance Master. A man in green clothes bowed to Knight Sorrow. He used to be a monarch under a faction in the divine capital that had been smashed by a brick. Now that he felt that the Humanitarian League was good, he joined the Humanitarian League. Monarch Chen Nua is too polite. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands in return. Shaimo greets the Alliance Master. Shaimo was shocked. He came to the divine capital to find Jun Xuanji, but he did not expect the Humanitarian League's Alliance Master to be Knight Sorrow. Hearing Knight Sorrow's name, his heart was in turmoil because Knight Sorrow could be said to be their first target. To Mo Tianji, her main body was the most important, so finding Knight Sorrow and taking back her main body was her first task. Her second task was to help Jun Xuanji reach the monarch realm. Knight Sorrow sensed the enmity in Shaimo's heart. Shaimo, do we know each other? Knight Sorrow asked. Shaimo is a loose cultivator. I just came to the divine capital, so I have not seen the Alliance Master before. Shaimo bowed and said. Oh, I thought you looked like an acquaintance from many years ago. I was mistaken, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. The great demon king was suspicious. He was mistaken. This was a little too casual. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji and said, Xuanji, you are a woman. It is not very convenient for you to have two male guards. Let them do some peripheral work. It is more suitable for you to have a female guard. Liu Yu will stay with you. Okay, Jun Xuanji nodded with a smile. She was willing to accept Knight Sorrow's arrangement. Also, I plan to hold a banquet tonight. You and Liu Yu can come together. I will trouble Chen Nua and Shaimo to take care of things here. Knight Sorrow said as he stood up and was about to leave. Lord Alliance Master is too polite. Chen Nua and Shaimo cupped their hands at Knight Sorrow. After that, Knight Sorrow and the Great Demon King left the Humanitarian League's headquarters. Knight Sorrow, did you find anything? The Great Demon King asked after they were some distance away. A little. I didn't find anything wrong with Chen Nua. However, there is something wrong with Shaimo. He is hostile towards me and wants to kill me, Knight Sorrow said. You can feel that? The Great Demon King asked in surprise. Perhaps this is one of the benefits of having the power of virtue. People with evil intentions will annoy me. People who are hostile towards me and want to kill me will arouse my vigilance. Knight Sorrow didn't hide anything from the Great Demon King. Then I will go back and kill him. No one can have any ideas about our Humanitarian League. If he wants to kill you, there is no need to keep him alive. The Great Demon King turned and walked towards the Humanitarian League. He didn't want to spend the night with anyone who had a grudge against him. Don't. There must be a reason for his enmity towards me. When we return, let's find a fortune teller to divine his origins. Then, we'll see where he came from. I don't really understand because I've offended all the rank 9 monarchs before. I don't have a reason for this. Yi Shang said what he didn't understand. Then let's find someone to divine which faction he comes from, and whether he is a rogue cultivator or not. The key is to find out the faction behind him. The Great Demon King knew why Knight Sorrow was able to remain calm. I asked Jun Xuanji and Liu Yu to come to the banquet to remind them to be more vigilant. They only see that the Humanitarian League is safe in the divine capital, and don't think about the dangers, Knight Sorrow said. Chapter 1802. On the way back to the Night Moon Villa, Knight Sorrow went through the list of opponents and enemies he had in the celestial realm. However, he did not find anyone named Shaimo. When they reached the main hall of the Night Moon Villa, Knight Sorrow sat down and told Yu Zhu and the rest about the situation. Whoever dares to infiltrate our Humanitarian League must die, no matter which faction sent them. Fun Tian said coldly. Half a month ago, Fun Tian had passed the 5 tribulations of the heavenly law. He felt that it was a little strenuous. Furthermore, with King Yawu's order, he did not dare to touch the 6 tribulations of the heavenly law. Do you have any divination masters in the divine capital? Find one and divine his background, said Yi Shan. Let's see where he came from. Ruisi and Yu Zhu went out to make the arrangements. They knew fortune tellers in the divine capital. Knight Sorrow drank a cup of tea and continued to cultivate. He cultivated the mixed spear arts and the high heaven spear arts. Knight Sorrow discovered another benefit of cultivating the high heaven spear arts. His soul power had increased by a lot. Knight Sorrow cultivated his spear arts for a while. When he was resting, Ruisi and Yuju brought the fortune tellers to the training ground where Knight Sorrow was. I brought them to the Humanitarian League's headquarters and obtained the medium for divination. We can do the divination at any time. Yuju said to Knight Sorrow. All right, let's do the divination. I want to know where this guy came from. Knight Sorrow nodded at the two fortune tellers. One of the fortune tellers began the divination. The medium he obtained was the teacup that Sha Mo used to drink. When the divination began, the divination image appeared. However, something was wrong. The image shook twice and shattered. The fortune teller was stunned for a moment and continued the divination. However, when the image appeared, it shattered. The fortune teller's face turned pale as if he had suffered a backlash. Without waiting for Knight Sorrow to speak, another fortune teller began his divination, but the result was the same. Just as the divination began, the image shattered. Thank you, both of you. There is no need for further divination. It seems the other party has taken precautions against our divination. Knight Sorrow did not allow the clairvoyant to continue with his divination. After all, it would not yield any results. Tell me what's going on? Reese asked the two clairvoyants. He might have a treasure that can disrupt the heavenly secrets and prevent divination. The other possibility is that a super strong person cast a forbidden spell on him. As long as a divination technique appears, it will activate and block it. I'm sorry, Alliance Leader, but we can't continue with the divination, the clairvoyant said. They already knew about Knight Sorrow's identity from Ruiz and Yuju. Thank you. Here is a small token of my appreciation. Knight Sorrow took out 2 small bottles of Holy Spirit liquid and handed them to the 2 diviners. The clairvoyant accepted the Holy Spirit liquid and expressed his apologies and thanks to Yi Shang before leaving the Yeyue Villa. Knight Sorrow, Reese, and Yuju went to the hall of the Night Moon Villa. Yuju told Puluo and the Great Demon King about the results of the divination. Interesting. This is not simple. Puluo stroked his chin. However, his face was full of energy, which made him very interested. Knight Sorrow, your intuition is very accurate. This is a guy with bad intentions. What do we do now? The Great Demon King asked. It's not wise to kill him before we find out his background. I think that we should let this guy live as long as we can ensure Jun Xuanji's safety. This way he will expose himself sooner or later. It won't be too late to act after we find out who is behind him, Knight Sorrow said. All right. I'll come to the Night Moon Villa with my main body. This clone will stay in the Humanitarian League. And keep an eye on this bastard. He will regret it if he tries to attack our Humanitarian League. Yuju's eyes glowed. Among the 7 core members of the Humanitarian League, Puluo and Yuju had the best tempers. However, someone had infiltrated the Humanitarian League with bad intentions, which made Yuju angry. In the evening, Jun Xuanji and Liu Yu came to the Night Moon Villa. Knight Sorrow held a banquet in the Night Moon Villa, but it was custom-made. Liu Yu was not willing to sit at the table because she knew the status of the 7 people in front of her. Sit. We don't have so many customs in the Night Moon Villa, Knight Sorrow said. Seeing the Great Demon King nod at her, Liu Yu sat down. Everyone was just drinking and chatting. They didn't talk about anything serious. However, what kind of person was Jun Xuanji? In terms of wisdom and strategy, he was superior to others. She naturally knew that Yi Shang must have called her over for something. During the day, Knight Sorrow asked Sha Mo if they knew each other. It was a little abrupt. Domain Lord, why did you call Xuanji over? Jun Xuanji stood up and brewed tea after the banquet was cleared. Yes, I called you over to tell you that there is something wrong with Emperor Mo, Jun Xuanji asked. Knight Sorrow went straight to the point. Sha Mo? That's not right. He is very concerned about me. He even gave me cultivation manuals and pointed out my shortcomings in cultivation. I can feel his sincerity, Jun Xuanji said. If he can't do these things, how can he gain your trust? Knight Sorrow told Jun Xuanji about what he felt And the results of the divination? Killing intent? He dares. Although he has helped me, if he wants to kill Domain Lord, he must die. Jun Xuanji said coldly. Night Sorrow was the person she respected and admired the most. No matter how good Xiaomo was to her, if he wanted to harm Night Sorrow, she would not tolerate it. Night Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji, Xuanji, calm down first. I don't want to touch him yet. I want to find out who is behind this. I called you here to let you know. Liu Yu will protect you. Also, Elder Yu Zhu will be at the Humanitarian League headquarters. Your safety will not be a problem. Xuanji understands. I will not let him find out anything is wrong. Jun Xuanji nodded and left Night Moon Villa with Liu Yu. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The next day, Yu Zhu's original body arrived at Night Moon Villa. She made a deal with her doppelganger, and the doppelganger went to the Humanitarian League headquarters. Xiaomo was a little uneasy because he did not know if he would be exposed. He had a seal on him from the Demon Wing clan's old ancestor Yutian, which could prevent him from being detected by the divination master. However, he was not sure if it would work. He blamed himself. He should not have been hostile to anyone when he came to the divine capital. His mission was to help Jun Xuanji rise. After waiting for 2 days, Xiaomo felt more at ease. He made up his mind that if he could pass this hurdle, he would endure it even if others insulted him in the future. At the peak of Yiwu Mountain, Lin Piaomiao, who had been cultivating for a while, was called over by King Yiwu for tea. Seeing that Lin Piaomiao was deep in thought, King Yiwu asked. Lin Piaomiao told him about the matter. Chapter 1803. Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow said to leave him alone for now and slowly dig out his background. If we make a move now, it will be easy for him to sense it, Lin Piaomiao said. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Trust Martial Uncle. He won't sense anything when dealing with him. After finding out his background, we'll see if there's a need to leave him alone. King Yiwu left in a flash. Lin Piaomiao was stunned for a moment. She understood that King Yiwu was a hot-tempered person. Then Lin Piaomiao continued to meditate and cultivate. She could only wait for news. Sister-in-law, there's nothing that Master can't solve. There will be news soon, Fan Tian, who had also returned to Yawa Mountain to cultivate, said. I've said too much. I'm sorry to trouble Martial Uncle to come here, Lin Piaomiao said. Master is the king of divine capital. Whoever wants to cause trouble around the king will have to bear the king's anger. Just wait and see. It's just that the frequency of junior brother's seclusion is too high. Fan Tian glanced at the place where Night Sorrow was cultivating and said. He can maintain a high speed of cultivation mainly because of his high state of mind. His mind is flawless, so he doesn't have the troubles that we and other cultivators have. He won't have inner demons, Lin Piaomiao said. I'm envious. His mind is flawless. He can cultivate however he wants, Fan Tian muttered and continued to cultivate. There were many troubles on the path of cultivation. First, there was the bottleneck. The bottleneck of cultivation restricted development. Second, there was the state of mind. If one's state of mind couldn't keep up, one wouldn't be able to advance. For example, if a saint wanted to enter the Saint King realm, without the state of mind, he could only stay in the saint realm forever. If he forced himself to advance, his inner demons would be reborn. Therefore, in terms of state of mind, even Lin Piaomiao admired Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's state of mind was clear and untainted. 2 days later, King Yiwu returned. He didn't look very good. Martial Uncle, Lin Piaomiao greeted. Okay, inform Night Sorrow's clone to come here. Uncle Master has something to discuss with him. Let's see what he decides. King Yiwu said to Lin Piaomiao after glancing at Night Sorrow's original body. Lin Piaomiao nodded. Night Moon Villa's clone had told Night Sorrow that King Yiwu wanted to see him. Night Sorrow nodded and left the Night Moon Villa for the City Lord's mansion. When the Castellan Manor's guards saw Night Sorrow, they all bowed respectfully and did not stop him. They had seen King Yiwu bring Night Sorrow into the City Lord's mansion with their own eyes. This had never happened before. In addition, Lu Qi and Yan Qi had also explained to the City Lord's mansion's men that they didn't need to send a message when Night Sorrow came, let alone intercept him. Upon reaching Yawa Mountain, Night Sorrow immediately flew up the mountain. Yawa Mountain was a forbidden area set by King Yawu. Without King Yawu's permission, anyone who trespassed into Yawa Mountain would be killed mercilessly. Of course, Night Sorrow would not be killed. Upon reaching the peak of Yawa Mountain, Night Sorrow bowed to King Yawu. "Martial Uncle, I'm here. Uncle Master has investigated Sha Mo from the Humanitarian League. He's from the Demon Wing clan," King Yawu said to Night Sorrow. "Martial Uncle, you know about it?" Night Sorrow was stunned. "Yes, the fortune teller you found couldn't divine it because of the seal on Sha Mo's body. After Martial Uncle Master affected his soul and broke the seal, the fortune teller divined that they came through the space tunnel," King Yawu said. "No wonder I felt a killing intent when I saw him. It felt uncomfortable. He's from the Demon Wing clan. How many of them are here? Can we kill them all?" Night Sorrow's face turned cold. He knew that the Demon Wing clan was coming for him. If he wanted to protect the people around him, he had to be ruthless. "The problem isn't serious, so Martial Uncle Master wants to know what you think." King Yawu told Night Sorrow about the current situation. However, he only knew the number of people and Sha Mo's situation. 7 people. The strongest is a peak sovereign emperor. The whereabouts of 6 people are unknown. That means that Sha Mo is the only one under our watch, Night Sorrow said. "Yes, so Martial Uncle Master wants to know what you think. If we want to kill him, we can do it with a slap," King Yawu said as he looked at Night Sorrow. "Killing him is easy, but the clues will be cut off. Right now, clues are more precious than anything else. With clues, we can deduce what they want to do. We can plan ahead." Night Sorrow concluded after thinking for a while. "Just as Martial Uncle Master thought. Martial Uncle Master asked you because Jun Xuanji came from your world," King Yawu said. "Just send more people to protect him. Also, I feel that the possibility of Sha Mo attacking Jun Xuanji is very low. He gave Jun Xuanji cultivation manuals, and even gave him pointers in order to gain his favor. Jun Xuanji is valuable in his heart. Let's keep an eye on this guy and see who he contacts. Then we'll monitor each and every one of them," Yishan said. King Yawu smiled because Night Sorrow had the same idea as him. Then Night Sorrow and King Yawu analyzed the situation and came up with a plan. Currently, the Demon Wing clan had entered the celestial realm to take back Mo Tianji's body. There were only 2 ways to do this. One was to find Night Sorrow, and the other was to break into the 9 domains world. Therefore, King Yawu planned to set up a big trap in these 2 places and wait for the Demon Wing clan to jump in. "Martial Uncle, I'll have to trouble you with this. I'm the only Imperial Emperor in the 9 domains world, and I've just become one." Night Sorrow looked at King Yawu and said with a smile, "People? That's not a problem. I don't lack people under my command. Fentian, come over and listen carefully when you're cultivating. Can you cultivate in there? Bring the law enforcement team and arrange according to the plan that I and your junior brother came up with. Arrange the entrance to the 9 domains world and the Star Moon Lake into an iron bucket. However, it has to be low-key and not be noticed by the other party. In addition, the Humanitarian League will arrange for spies. Your subordinates are not strong enough. Take my token and mobilize the protectors of the City Lord's mansion. You must not be noticed by the other party," King Yawu said to Fentian. "I'll go right away," Fentian said and disappeared in a flash. "Your original body will continue to cultivate. The clone will do whatever you need to do," King Yawu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's clone bowed to King Yawu and left. With King Yawu's arrangement, he did not need to worry at all. "I forgot to ask him for a jar of wine. We shouldn't drink tea on such a happy occasion," King Yawu said after hesitating for a moment while holding a teacup as he watched Night Sorrow leave. "Martial Uncle, I have wine here." Lin Piamiao took out a jar of wine. "Good, very good. Both of you are very good and likable. Night Sorrow's Star Moon Lake is in your Misty Dynasty's territory and you are his wife, so you have to be careful," King Yawu said to Lin Piamiao after taking a sip of wine. Chapter 1804. Yes, Martial Uncle knows about your situation. Your fighting strength is outstanding among the human race. Put more effort into other aspects. Strength doesn't necessarily determine height. A bucket, The shortest plank determines how much water it can hold. King Yawu looked at Lin Piaomiao and said, "Thank you, martial uncle. This disciple understands." Lin Piaomiao bowed to King Yawu. "You have the void attribute as your main attribute, and the earth attribute as your support. That's why your attacks are majestic, and can be ranked first on the divine demon list. Earth attribute cultivators are also good at speed. Earth attribute cultivators are good at shrinking the ground into an inch, and moving 1,000 miles in one step. If you want to pursue speed, you can go in this direction." King Yawu reminded Lin Piaomiao again. After giving a few pointers, King Yawu closed his eyes and meditated. Fen Tian was busy. He was the commander of the City Lord's Mansion's law enforcement team. The law enforcement team under him was the foundation of the divine capital city for countless years. There were a few Emperor Realm cultivators, and the protectors of the City Lord's Mansion were all Emperor Realm cultivators. However, they only took orders from King Yawu, so Fen Tian had to take King Yawu's token. Fen Tian was very excited because this was a confrontation with the foreign race. "Fen Tian, you're saying that guy is from the Demon Wing clan?" An old man looked at Fen Tian and asked. He was the chief protector of the City Lord's Mansion, Shirhan. "Uncle Shirhan, yes. Master confirmed it. He didn't tell anyone about this because he was afraid it would be leaked. So he asked Uncle Shirhan to make the arrangements." Fen Tian said, "Since the City Lord confirmed it, then it's done. Uncle will handle this matter. Nothing can escape your eyes." Shirhan was thin, but his eyes were full of light. "Uncle Shirhan, there's a girl called Jun Xuanji in the Humanitarian League. She's one of Junior Brother Knight's people. Nothing can happen to her." Fen Tian explained the situation to Shirhan. "Okay, then Uncle will go now." He sat and waited for Shirhan to stand up. "Uncle, don't be anxious. There are other things. We can't set up a pit. Junior Brother has to have a pit beside him. If they make a move, the possibility of them touching Junior Brother is higher." Fen Tian repeated the conversation between King Yawu and Knight Sorrow. Chapter HF section equals previous 9SD. Knight Sorrow has Pu Luo, the great demon king, and Lin Piaomiao by his side. Who can touch him? If they sent more people, would the Demon Wings race still be able to act? You have to give them a chance. Weren't you there too? However, we need to send more people to Star Moon Lake. Uncle will give you a few more protectors. Take them and the enforcers to Star Moon Lake. That's the most important place. After all, it's quite far from us, Shikuan said. "Thank you, Uncle Shiryan." Fen Tian cupped his hands toward Shiryan. Shiryan was a close friend of King Yawu. He had watched Fen Tian grow up, so Fen Tian respected him very much. "All right, come with Uncle. Uncle will arrange people for you. And then Uncle will go and keep an eye on them." Shiryan waved to Fen Tian. Very quickly, the deployment was completed. The Burning Heaven clone brought people to the Star Moon Lake. Knight Sorrow's clone in the 9-domain world informed Datura. His clone could move, but he couldn't leave the 9-domain world. Therefore, if he wanted to make arrangements, he needed someone else to do it. Knight Sorrow told Datura to receive Fen Tian and his group. He also explained the reason. After everything was ready, Knight Sorrow didn't care anymore. He felt that there wouldn't be any problems. If the Demon Wings race dared to come, then they wouldn't be able to return. Fen Tian's original body held 2 jars of wine, and sat at the side, watching Knight Sorrow practice his spear. He was very happy. "Senior brother, you're not going to Yawa Mountain to cultivate?" Knight Sorrow wiped the sweat off his forehead and said. Normally, Knight Sorrow wouldn't sweat at his level, and wouldn't have any negative effects. Knight Sorrow was fusing his essence, energy, and spirit into his spear arts, which consumed a lot of his body. No rush. Senior brother's clone went to Star Moon Lake. "My original body will stay by your side. Come, let's drink." Fen Tian was very happy. He loved to fight. "Senior brother, your original body should go and cultivate as well. Cultivating at the peak of Yawa Mountain is very important, and the opportunity is hard to come by. If there's really a battle, Misty's original body will call for senior brother. It won't be too late for you guys to come back. They don't have an emperor. It won't be easy for an emperor to hurt or kill me, right?" It's hard to say who will kill who. Night Sorrow looked at Fan Tian and said, "All right, then let's drink this jar of wine. Senior brother will go and cultivate. With Pu Luo and the great demon king here, this place should be stable." Fan Tian nodded. He didn't want to leave this place, but it wasn't because he was worried. After drinking, Fan Tian went to the peak of Yawa Mountain. Night Sorrow, Fan Tian has a strong murderous nature. However, he has a different feeling from you. Lin Piaomiao sat beside Night Sorrow. Maybe it's because he doesn't have any friends. He's an orphan and senior uncle only accepted him as a disciple. In this aspect, I'm much luckier than him. Night Sorrow said. With senior uncle's arrangements, things are very stable. There are no oversights. Actually, I still don't understand. Xiaomo is really good to Jun Xuanji. He gave him 2 cultivation manuals, and even gave him some spirit congealing pills. If it's just to curry favor, there's no need to pay such a big price, right? Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Lin Piaomiao had been to the Humanitarian League's headquarters, and had interacted with Jun Xuanji and Emperor Lu Yu. Night Sorrow closed his eyes and thought. Jun Xuanji was one of the core figures of the 9 domains world. He was also someone that Night Sorrow valued. Therefore, there couldn't be any problems. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow turned to look at Lin Piaomiao. I understand what you mean. I will consider this matter carefully. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She and Night Sorrow were both smart people. She also knew what Night Sorrow was afraid of. Therefore, she wouldn't say anything bad about the people of the 9 domains world to Night Sorrow. What she said just now was just a subtle reminder. Night Sorrow naturally understood what Lin Piaomiao meant. However, he didn't want to suspect or target anyone in the 9 domains world. Night Sorrow smiled. Sister Xian'er, we're not like before. We're husband and wife. If we can't communicate with each other sincerely, who can we communicate with? I will pay attention to some things and won't let Xiaomo succeed. Xiaomo will definitely contact me. Let's see what he's up to. Lin Piaomiao wanted to say something, but her expression changed. The Piaomiao dynasty has changed. He's really tired of living. After speaking, Lin Piaomiao's body flashed and disappeared from the Night Moon Villa. She felt the spiritual communication crystal shatter. She had left it in Songning. Night Sorrow arrived at the main hall of the Night Moon Villa. Stop drinking tea. Something might have happened in the Piaomiao dynasty. Piaomiao has already returned. Let's hurry over. In private, Night Sorrow always called Lin Piaomiao sister Xian'er. However, in front of others, he called her Piaomiao. Let's kill our way over. Let's see who's going to turn the tables and humiliate our Humanitarian League's elders. They're courting death. Great Demon King roared. Following which, the few of them flew towards the teleportation array. Chapter 1805. The battle was intense. Song Ning and Wu Feng were both strong among the monarchs, but they were not as strong as their opponents. Plus, their opponents outnumbered them and fought ruthlessly. Song Ning's clone was no longer fighting. She was ambushed by Ma Tiantu when she returned to her residence. It was her clone that took the fatal blow and lost the ability to fight. Currently, it was Song Ning, Wu Feng, and her clone who were fighting the 6 monarchs. Wu Feng's clone was also injured. Song Ning go. Edgeless roared. He knew that today was a dead end. The 6 imperial emperors were all stronger than him and Song Ning. Moreover, they had planned this out. Now they were trapped in the formation. No. They will die today. We have to hold on. Song Ning shouted at Wu Feng. She only hoped that Lin Piaomiao would come back soon. Otherwise, she and Wu Feng would not be able to hold on for long. Surrender and you may still have a chance to live, Ma Tiantu shouted. In your dreams. Song Ning responded with a fierce sword strike. Kill the man first, then severely injure the woman. We have to hurry to Night Moon Villa. We don't have much time, Ma Tiantu shouted at the others. After lying low for a while, Ma Tiantu's first plan was to help Yuan Ji fulfill his request. Then he would go to Night Moon Villa to capture Night Sorrow's family, and use them to threaten Night Sorrow. The battle was fierce. Wu Feng's clone lost an arm, and his body was pierced by a sword. Wu Feng's clone had no fighting power. He immediately put it away. Song Ning, although I did not marry you, I am satisfied to be able to fight with you to the end. Wu Feng shouted at Song Ning. Me too, Song Ning replied. Damn it. Let's retreat. Ma Tiantu shouted at the others. His clone that was near the teleportation formation saw Lin Piamiao appear. Ma Tiantu and the others did not dare to attack the teleportation formation. If they did, the elders and palace lords of the Misty Dynasty would know and attack. They would lose the chance to ambush Song Ning. Now that Lin Piamiao had returned, if they still didn't leave, they would be easily killed. They had done a background check on Lin Piamiao. Ma Tiantu tossed out a large black array disc, which carried a ferocious energy as it attacked Song Ning and Wu Feng. Ma Tiantu then led the others to activate the teleportation array disc before disappearing from the Misty Dynasty. He had used the same combat technique as Night Sorrow. When Ma Tiantu came, he brought a lot of battle resources and a lot of array discs. The battle mode this time was also decided by Mo Tianji. In just a few breaths' time after Mo Tiantu and the others retreated, Lin Piamiao arrived. With one sword strike, she cut the black array disc into two. Sister Xian. Song Ning's eyes were filled with anger and grievance. They ran away? Lin Piamiao's face was filled with killing intent. Quick! Let's hurry to the Night Moon Villa. They said that their target is the Night Moon Villa. Song Ning said anxiously. At this moment, a man in black was attacking the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa. This was thanks to Mandela's quick reaction. She had activated the Great Defensive Array in time. While she had been meditating, she had discovered someone flying towards the Yeyue Mountain Villa. Thus, she had instantly activated the teleportation array and crushed Yishang's messaging crystal. After exiting the teleportation array, Night Sorrow realized that his messaging crystal had shattered. How dare you attack my home? You want to die? With a low growl, Night Sorrow flew towards the Night Moon Villa. Pu Luo, bring Ruisi to find Elder Lin. Yuju, let's go to the Night Moon Villa. The Great Demon King divided the tasks. Then the few of them flew towards their respective targets at top speed. They knew that this was a critical moment. If they were slow, it would be easy for them to face irreversible consequences. When Night Sorrow arrived at the Night Moon Villa, he saw a man in black frantically attacking the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa. He had already shattered the array with a sword. However, Night Sorrow was here. Naturally, he couldn't let him enter the Night Moon Villa. He activated his Bloodlust Evil Slaying Spear and charged over. The Bloodlust Evil Slaying Spear, which stirred up the power of heaven and earth, streaked across the air and charged towards the man in black. The man in black was Mo Yun of the Devil Wing clan. He had been waiting outside the Night Moon Villa. Ma Tiantu had asked him to keep an eye on the Night Moon Villa. Once they were done with Song Ning, they would come over and take down the Night Moon Villa. Now that Lin Piamiao had rushed back, Ma Tiantu's men didn't dare to come over. Therefore, he ordered Mo Yun to attack. However, as soon as Mo Yun broke through the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow appeared. He didn't have a chance to attack. Mo Yun was furious. If he had a few more moments, he could have severely injured Datura, who had just entered the Emperor realm. Then he could have captured Lin Piamiao and retreated. But now he didn't have a chance. Facing Night Sorrow's fierce spear, Mo Yun quickly retreated. Since he couldn't do anything, he had to retreat. Night Sorrow used his void steps and caught up with Mo Yun. Once again he attacked with his spear. At this time, Mo Yun threw out a black array disc that enveloped Night Sorrow. Then he took out a teleportation array disc. The moment Mo Yun activated the teleportation array disc, a black light flashed and shone on his body. Then, a sword chi flashed and cut the teleportation array disc in half. Great Demon King. The Great Demon King had arrived. That black light was the Great Demon King's soul attack. Driven by Guizu's ghost pupil, it directly immobilized Mo Yun. His sword chi could have killed Mo Yun, but he wanted to capture him alive. After destroying Mo Yun's teleportation array disc, the Great Demon King arrived in front of Mo Yun. He took out his golden brick and directly smashed it on the face of the panicking Mo Yun, who was about to retreat. Along with the sound of bones breaking, Mo Yun's body went limp. He was just an emperor king, while the Great Demon King was famous even among emperors. The two of them weren't on the same level. At this moment, Night Sorrow had also broken open the black array disc. Everything had happened in the blink of an eye, but it had happened too quickly. Night Sorrow, are you alright? Yuju looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm fine. I came back just in time. He just broke through the defensive array. Night Sorrow rejoiced in his heart. If he came back just a moment later, the people in the Night Moon Villa would have been controlled by Mo Iyun, and he wouldn't have been able to end the situation. It's good that you're fine. If we capture him alive, we might be able to find something. I'll control him first and not give him a chance to commit suicide or self-destruct. The Great Demon King took out his golden brick and smashed it at Mo Iyun's head again. He planned to hit it again to make Mo Iyun unconscious, and then control him. But just as the Great Demon King's brick was a little away from Mo Iyun's head, Mo Iyun's body swelled up. With a burst of energy, his body suddenly exploded. Kved, the Great Demon King, who was close by, waved his left hand and an energy barrier appeared in front of him. However, the self-destruction of an Emperor King was very powerful. It blasted the Great Demon King back a distance. Chapter 1806. This B***** is pretty ruthless. He blew himself up just like that. Yuju said. It's my fault. If I had hit him earlier, he wouldn't have had the chance. The Great Demon King was a little annoyed. Mo Iyun's actions were equivalent to slapping him in the face. It's alright. As long as it didn't affect us. Night Sorrow said as he looked at Datura and Sikong Chuyu who were walking past. There will be plenty of chances to kill them. However, this incident also proves that your defenses here aren't good enough. The Great Demon King said. Yuju, help me look after the house. The Great Demon King, let's go look for Misty and the rest. With only one person attacking here, they will be under a lot of pressure. Night Sorrow said. Just as Night Sorrow and the Great Demon King were about to leave, Lin Misty and the rest returned with the injured Song Ning and Wu Feng. This place was attacked as well? Lin Misty looked at the huge crater left behind by Mo Iyun's self-destruction. Her eyes were filled with anger. Night Sorrow nodded and explained the situation. The defensive array isn't enough. Puluo said. Then set up a new one. It must be able to withstand the attacks and buy time for us to return. However, it's not easy to get the materials for a high-grade defensive array. Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, as long as the skeleton isn't destroyed, Uncle Lai will help you find another Ice Dragon skeleton among the Ice Dragon. Shi Lai and Fun Tian appeared at Night Moon Villa. Datura had arranged for his family to teleport to Star Moon City. Knowing that something had happened here, Shi Lai came over to provide support. He happened to hear Night Sorrow's words. Uncle Lai, it's not appropriate. Those are the ancestors of the Ice Dragons. Night Sorrow shook his head and refused. He didn't want to put Shilia in a difficult position. He didn't want Shilia to be unable to explain himself to his family. It's nothing. As long as you don't desecrate or destroy the remains of our Ice Dragon clan's ancestors, it's fine. The glory of the Ice Dragon clan's ancestors, shining in the Heaven Realm, is a good thing for our Ice Dragon clan. Everyone in the world will know of the existence of the Ice Dragon clan. Shi Lai told Yishang his request and thoughts. Then Night Sorrow would like to thank Uncle Lai. Night Sorrow bowed to Shi Lai. He was very grateful. Alright then. Uncle Lai, return to the clan and bring the remains of our ancestors here. After saying that, Shi Lai left the Night Moon Villa. While Night Sorrow was studying how to design the array, King Yawu, Fun Tian's true body and Lin Piamiao's true body appeared in Night Moon Villa. RA update E * latest / soonest AJR Marshall Uncle, it's nothing. Why are you here? Night Sorrow invited King Yawu to sit in the main hall. The others also cupped their hands in greeting. Nothing? My Marshall nephew's house was raided. How can it be nothing? Also, Piamiao mentioned about setting up the array. Marshall Uncle will set it up for you. Let's see who can break it. King Yawu's aura rippled in all directions. The dignity of a king couldn't be desecrated. King Yawu treated Night Sorrow as his disciple. Therefore, this matter had already angered him. Many thanks, Marshall Uncle. One of my Ice Dragon's uncles plans to bring an Ice Dragon skeleton over to set up the array. Night Sorrow explained the situation to King Yawu. That's even better. If we use that to set up the array, not to mention monarchs, even emperors who don't understand array Dao won't be able to break it. King Yewu nodded. Then Lin Piaomiao invited a fortune teller over, and began to divine where Mo Yun had fallen. Since Mo Yun's clone had fallen, the seal that prevented the divination was naturally ineffective. The results of the divination confirmed that the attackers were from the demon-winged race. These bastards really dared to do anything. The great demon king was very angry. I can understand why they attacked Night Sorrow's residence and captured Night Sorrow's family. However, why would the demon-winged race attack the two of them for no reason? King Yewu asked Wu Feng and Song Ning. At this moment, Wu Feng and Song Ning had recovered slightly. Their main bodies were only injured by their clones. Martial uncle, in the divination just now, there was a traitor of ethereal sovereign. He hates Song Ning because he was the spy for the demon-winged race, Lin Piaomiao said to King Yewu. He must die. King Yewu stood up. Martial uncle, please calm down. We have to consider how to make the demon-winged race suffer more losses. Isn't it a little too early to make a move on them? Night Sorrow said. Then we'll listen to you. King Yewu sat down again. Big brother, Song Ning, we are best friends. I really want to go over there and avenge you. However, the battle between the human race and the demon-winged race is a big deal. We can't act rashly because of personal feelings. Don't blame me. In fact, I'm even angrier, Night Sorrow said to Song Ning and Wu Feng. We are brothers. Even if you say something wrong, I won't have any opinions, Wu Feng said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, there's no point in saying this to me. We are good friends. You can make decisions for me. Song Ning nodded. The demon-winged race is very cunning. Yuan Ji is the same. He's in the celestial realm. It's hard to say if we can find the teleportation formation between the celestial realm and the celestial realm. In addition, Yuan Ji is currently a key point. If he dies, the demon-winged race will hide again. It'll be difficult to find them without divination, Night Sorrow said. You're right. They don't know that we know their situation, so they'll still have a plan. Seize the opportunity and kill them all at once. King Yewu nodded at Yishang. His eyes were full of praise. It was rare for someone to be able to remain calm, rational, and clear-headed while being attacked at home. Martial uncle, they're a scourge. Leaving any one of them alive will cause endless trouble. So we have to seize the opportunity and kill them all, Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow explained the plan. Currently, there were only a few places where the enemy could attack. So, they had to pay attention to every point. While paying attention to the defense, they had to continue digging the teleportation formation in the celestial realm. Night Sorrow, I'll take care of this. The Yuan family still has some people in the celestial realm. Follow them and slowly dig. We'll be able to find the teleportation formation. We haven't been paying attention to him recently, Song Ning said. Fen Tian, the Humanitarian League can't have any problems. Keep an eye on him. King Yewu looked at Fen Tian and said, I'll ask Uncle Shigang to keep an eye on him. Give him a few pairs of wings. He won't be able to escape. Fen Tian said as he stared at Sha Mo inside the celestial realm. Ma Tiantu's face was not looking good. Because of his poor arrangement, he had failed at the last minute. If he had let Mo Yun attack Night Moon Villa from the beginning, the situation would not have been like this. Yuan Ji did not say anything. He knew that Ma Tiantu and the others had tried their best. The details had already been reported to him by the Yuan family. Elder Ma Tiantu, one failure is nothing. They're in the light, while we're in the dark. It's still possible to stabilize the situation and carry out the plan. My subordinates are still looking for information, Yuan Ji said. Ma Tiantu nodded. He felt somewhat lucky. Because of the attack on Song Ning and Wu Feng, no one would have thought that the real target was Night Sorrow. Chapter 1807. We have already entered their outer circle. But this cannot be rushed. If we rush, we will be easily discovered, and all our efforts will be in vain. Yuan Ji said. You have to hurry. This is the most important thing. Ma Tiantu glanced at Yuan Ji. Then let's make one thing clear first. If we can enter that region and conquer it, that region will belong to my Yuan clan. Yuan Ji said. Update equals soonest QJ. Alright. We can give it to you. But we also need to set up a stronghold there. We will wait for your news. Let's go. Ma Tiantu called out to his subordinates and left. Ma Tiantu had found the place himself. In other words, only he could find Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji could not find him. It was a small world in the Sky General region. There was a mansion in a small city. The owner of the mansion was dead. Ma Tiantu killed him and took over the place. Not only the mansion, but also the woman. With his enchantment, outsiders would not know what had happened here. Tai Shi, you are good at hiding. Hide your clone near the Sky General City Lord's mansion. If Yuan Ji does anything, you must know immediately. Ma Tiantu said to a green-robed man. Don't worry, elder. I will keep an eye on him. The green-robed man, Mo Tai Shi, said. Ian, it was my mistake this time. You have to bear the loss of your clone. In the future, except for the real battle, your real body will recover here. Ma Tiantu said to Mo Ian. What a pity. I was just a little bit late. Mo Ian was not upset about the loss of his clone. Instead, he was angry about the lack of results. In the Night Moon Villa of the ethereal imperial city, there was a wind scenery mountain. However, it was no longer a wind scenery mountain. It was several thousand zhang higher than before. On the peak of the mountain, there was a shining ice dragon skeleton. Those who knew would know that it was a skeleton. Those who did not know would think that it was an ice dragon cultivating with its eyes closed. King Yewu set up a defensive formation with the ice dragon as the core. Night Sorrow, the matrix has been formed. It's impossible for an imperial emperor to break it. Even an imperial emperor wouldn't be able to do it easily, unless his cultivation in the art of matrices is extremely strong, and he can find the weakness of the matrix. However, it will take some time to break it open. This time is definitely enough for reinforcements to arrive. King Yewu said as he stood in front of the waterside pavilion of the villa on Night Moon. Thank you, Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow poured a cup of wine for King Yewu and handed it over. After the formation is refined, it can be used to attack. If an emperor is attacked, he will definitely die. If an emperor doesn't run, he won't live either, King Yewu said to Night Sorrow. Disciple's true body will be cultivating in Yewu Mountain. My clone will be used for battle. I'll let Aluo refine this formation later, Night Sorrow said to King Yewu. After the wedding, Night Sorrow had introduced his family, wife and children to King Yewu. Cultivating a doppelganger is the mainstream for cultivators. However, the doppelganger technique I've cultivated allows me to have 2 doppelgangers. I'll pass it on to you later. Your soul power is quite strong, so you can cultivate it. Actually, these 3 doppelganger techniques aren't difficult to cultivate. It's just that it requires a lot of soul power. Almost no one can cultivate them. After you've cultivated the Ling Tian spear technique, your soul power will improve, so you can cultivate this doppelganger technique, said King Yewu to Yishang. Martial Uncle, Disciple has cultivated 2 clones a long time ago. One of them has fused with the origin hall of the 9-domain world. It can't leave the 9-domain world. In other words, it can only deal with the matters of the 9-domain world, and can only fight in the 9-domain world, Night Sorrow said. You've already cultivated it? Very good. King Yewu was stunned when he heard Night Sorrow's words. King Yewu stayed in the ethereal kingdom for 2 days before returning to the divine capital. That was where he needed to be. As Datura was already an Emperor Realm cultivator, it wasn't difficult for him to refine the core of the Night Moon Villa's defensive array. He quickly recognized the Ice Dragon's Dragon Pearl as its master, and could fully control the array. This made Night Sorrow feel relieved. We don't dare to return to the divine capital. There's no emperor here, Puluo said. Yeah, they're all imperial emperors. If there's no emperor here, they'll run away after a fight. No one can control them. Lin Piaomiao was also troubled by this problem. Lin Piaomiao's original body and Fun Tian's original body had already followed King Yewu back to the divine capital. They still had to cultivate at the Yawo Mountain. What's wrong with that? We'll stay on both sides. Ruisi, you return to the divine capital and organize the information we've gathered. If there's anyone you need to take down, come and inform us. We'll stay on both sides and see if they dare to cause trouble. With the Emperor Realm teleportation array, it'll be convenient to travel between the two cities. Great Demon King said. Yuju, come back with me. If I'm alone there, it'll be easy for others to take down. Ruisi said. Ruisi's words were met with disdain from the group. Even Pu Luo turned his head and looked to the side. What's wrong with your eyes? Don't you know what we've been doing? If they see me alone there, it'll be strange if they don't do something to me. Ruisi said. Ruisi's words made sense. Yuju and Ruisi returned to the divine capital. Great Demon King and Pu Luo stayed in the Night Moon Villa while Fen Tian went to the Star Moon City to wait for the Demon Wing clan. The spies of the Misty Dynasty were all on the move, looking for traces of the Yuan clan led by Yuan Ji in the Celestial Realm. Before there was no news, so they didn't take it seriously. This time it was Lin Piamiao's idea. In a few days, they found some clues and found a few small forces of the Yuan clan. Following the spies and divination, they found the teleportation location between the Celestial Realm and the Celestial Realm. How do we deal with it? After receiving the clue, Lin Piamiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. According to the location of the teleportation array, the Celestial Realm is close to the area controlled by Yuan Ji. The teleportation array can be connected. I'll sneak in first and set up our own teleportation array. This way, when we attack them, we won't be restricted by the teleportation array. We can fight however we want. Night Sorrow said. Break in, tear down their teleportation array, and set up our own teleportation array. Can't we close the door and take care of them slowly? Lin Piamiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. That's possible, but it's a bad plan. If we attack, they will be alerted and hide. The Demon Wing clan can avoid divination. If they hide in the Celestial Realm, we won't be able to find them. There are still hidden dangers. I'll think of a way to sneak in and set up a backup plan. Then we'll think about how to deal with them. Besides, we can't be sure if the Demon Wing clan is in the Celestial Realm. Night Sorrow said his idea. Master Lin, if we follow Night Sorrow's idea, it'll be safer. Pu Luo said. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not good at this. Lin Piamiao nodded. Chapter 1808. This guy has a good brain. He's quite thorough, the Great Demon King said. The world he came from has experienced many world wars. The wars he led were all victories. He should be better at this. Lin Piamiao smiled. This was her man's glory. It won't be easy to sneak in through their teleportation formation without being noticed, right? Pu Luo, who had been thinking, said. I'm also thinking about this. Pu Luo, what would you do if you were in charge? The Great Demon King asked Pu Luo. I'll create an illusion formation disk and affect the consciousness of the teleportation formation guards. If it's an emperor, I can't do it. I'll have to knock him out with a sneak attack, but that'll expose me. What about you, Great Demon King? Pu Luo asked the Great Demon King. I don't have a choice. I can only knock him out with a brick. It's very difficult to sneak through a teleportation formation guarded by an emperor without being noticed. I can't do it, the Great Demon King said. Night Sorrow can do it. Lin Piamiao was very confident in Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow followed the spy to Yuan Ji's former territory. It was now under Wufeng Prefecture's jurisdiction. Night Sorrow and the spy first arrived at Wufeng Legion's encampment. The commander was Peng Wanli, the former commander of Tsangning Legion's Flying Legion. Lord Knight is here. Peng Wanli was surprised to see Night Sorrow. Long time no see. Night Sorrow threw a jar of wine to Peng Wanli. Haha, Lord Knight is generous. Peng Wanli caught the wine jar and gave Night Sorrow a thumbs up. Night Sorrow then told Peng Wanli that he planned to set up a teleportation formation here. He couldn't let anything go wrong, so he wanted the Flying Legion to guard it. Lord, don't worry. Who dares to cause trouble in our encampment? Peng Wanli promised. Night Sorrow then set up a teleportation formation. The teleportation crystal was also installed. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation D. Sir Feudal Lord, Wanli has handled this matter well for you. Sir, can you talk to my two manor lords and allow me to return? I'm already an emperor, yet I still don't have a wife. My Peng family needs a descendant, Peng Wanli hurriedly said as he watched Yishang set up a teleportation array to leave. Can't you just leave your clone here and return to Ethereal Imperial City with your main body? Yishan looked at Peng Wanli with a puzzled expression. How can I? Sir Overlord, you should know about Song Ning's violent temper. Why don't you tell me about it? Peng Wanli's expression was rather interesting when Song Ning was mentioned. All right, I'll tell Song Ning about it when I'm done. Yishan nodded. After Knight's teleportation formations is teleportation formation. Lord, within the range of our soul power, there's a white mansion 1,000 miles to the east of the city Lord's mansion. Their teleportation formation is hidden there. The spy reported to Night Sorrow. Brother, thank you for your hard work. Leave the rest to me. Take this and have some tea. Night Sorrow took out a storage ring and transferred tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones into it. Lord, there's no need for that. The spy was a little scared. I, Night Sorrow, used to be a soldier, so I know how hard it is for everyone. Take it. Night Sorrow patted the spy's shoulder. He then used his leakless true body to hide his presence and approached the White Mansion. Night Sorrow was thinking of a way to sneak in. He couldn't let the other party discover him. If they did, they would destroy the teleportation formation. Night Sorrow believed that there would be more than one teleportation formation connecting the Celestial Realm and the Tianjiang domain. With Yuwenji's experience, he would definitely have a few backup teleportation formations. Therefore, if there was any trouble, the guards would destroy them without hesitation. When he was still a few hundred miles away from the White Mansion, Night Sorrow stopped. He then used his power of merit and said, "Wind rise." His words were law. A gale appeared between heaven and earth. The gale blew wildly in the city. Night Sorrow entered the 8-Dragon Cauldron and followed the gale toward the White Mansion. It wasn't the first time that Night Sorrow had used external forces and spatial treasures to get close to his target. Back in the Ice Dragon realm, he had gotten close to the people of the Shimwu Great World. As the gale blew, the 8-Dragon Cauldron, which had shrunk to the size of a grain of sand, entered the White Mansion. Night Sorrow used his soul power to investigate and found the location of the teleportation formation. The underground structure of the mansion was very developed, surpassing the buildings on the surface. The teleportation formation was located in the core palace of the underground structure. Following the gale, Night Sorrow controlled the 8-Dragon Cauldron to hide at the entrance of the underground structure. Night Sorrow didn't dare to move recklessly, fearing that he would be discovered. There was a monarch guarding the underground teleportation formation. In a big city, monarchs couldn't hide, as they would be easily discovered by the people of the Ethereal Dynasty. Therefore, they could only stay in a small city. This monarch was called Yu Wenqing, who used to be the ruler of the Yuan family. Yuwenji couldn't establish himself in the Ethereal Dynasty, so he returned to the Tianjiang domain. Naturally, Yu Wenqing had to give up his position and take the initiative to guard the teleportation formation. Wait for the opportunity. Night Sorrow knew that he couldn't act rashly, as there wouldn't be many opportunities. Once he was discovered, the opportunity would be gone. Not long after, someone arrived and wanted to enter the underground structure. When this black-robed king arrived in front of the 8-Dragon Cauldron, Night Sorrow controlled the 8-Dragon Cauldron to move a bit. Following the movement of the robe, the 8-Dragon Cauldron pierced into the lower hem of the robe like a steel needle. Actually, the safest thing would be for Night Sorrow to control the 8-Dragon Cauldron to pierce into the bottom of this man's boots. However, Night Sorrow wouldn't do that. Being stepped on was a disgrace, and it would hurt one's luck. Night Sorrow rejected it from the depths of his soul. This black-robed man directly arrived in front of the teleportation formation. Lord, this subordinate has been monitoring the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Dynasty. I have some gains, and I need to report to the old ancestor. The black-robed man bowed to Yu Wenqing. All right, go. Yu Wenqing glanced at the black-robed man and nodded. He had already confirmed the aura, and there was no mistake. The black-robed man entered the teleportation formation and started the teleportation. 15 minutes later, the teleportation was completed, and the man appeared in a mansion. The mansion was surrounded by Heaven Monarch guards. After walking out of the mansion, the black-robed man walked towards a teleportation formation in the center of the city. He was going to teleport to the inner realm. Success! After successfully entering the Tianjiang domain, Knight Sorrow didn't plan to continue following this black-robed man. He wanted to do his own thing. There were plenty of opportunities to investigate Yuanji's lair. First, he had to connect the Tianjiang domain and the celestial realm. With a slight vibration, Knight Sorrow floated down from the black-robed man's body. He used the wind to reach a hidden place and walked out of the eight-dragon cauldron. Chapter 1809. Yi Shan had set up teleportation portals many times in the dark, so he was very familiar with the process. After flying for thousands of miles, Knight Sorrow set up a teleportation array and inserted a teleportation crystal. This way, he could return to the celestial realm and set up a corresponding teleportation array. Permanent. After flying for some distance, Knight Sorrow set up a second teleportation array. When the third teleportation array was set up, Knight Sorrow inserted the teleportation crystal of the Flying Rock Army's camp. As the teleportation crystal lit up, the celestial realm and the celestial realm were connected. Turning around, Knight Sorrow felt very safe. He had set up an illusion array around the teleportation array. It was very safe. Even if the enemy divined this place, they wouldn't be able to find it. They wouldn't be able to deduce the location. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow felt that it was meaningless to act alone. He couldn't kill Yuanji either. This was a competition between forces, or even between races. It was better to go back and discuss it with everyone. In addition, Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, Pu Luo and the others were all very strong. After entering the teleportation array, Knight Sorrow arrived at the Flying Rock Army's camp. Seeing Knight Sorrow return from the teleportation array, Peng Wanli, who was patrolling the camp with a glass of wine, was surprised. "Lord, you're back." "Yes, I'm going back to the ethereal imperial city. Look after this place." Knight Sorrow finished speaking and entered the teleportation array of the Flying Rock Army's camp. "Lord, don't forget to tell Song Ning about my matter," Peng Wanli shouted at Knight Sorrow. After a few teleportations, Knight Sorrow arrived at the ethereal imperial city and returned to the Night Moon Villa. Seeing Knight Sorrow enter the villa's hall, Lin Piaomiao poured a glass of water for Knight Sorrow. "If it's not easy to handle, think about it quietly. Yes, this is really not something to be anxious about. If we don't alert the enemy, it's indeed very difficult." Great Demon King said. "What are you all thinking about? I've already set up the teleportation array. You all think about the battle tactics and strategies and see how to handle it." Knight Sorrow took a sip of water. "What did you say? Has it been set up?" Pu Luo stood up from his chair. Knight Sorrow nodded. "Yes, the teleportation array has been connected. I also set up 2 more teleportation arrays as backup. They can be connected at any time." "Beautiful. Well done." The Great Demon King patted the armrest of his chair. "What should we do next?" Lin Piaomiao looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. "You guys can discuss this, but call me when you want to kill him. Yuanji still owes me a piece of the colored glass sacred bone. I must get it back," Knight Sorrow said. "Don't think we're ignorant. Although we didn't probe you, the Merit Emperor definitely has a glass body. You're an Imperial Emperor, so you must have a glass saint bone." The Great Demon King looked at Knight Sorrow with disdain. "It's true that I have a glass saint bone, but he owes me that piece. How I deal with it after I get it back is another matter. I still have a son and a daughter. Can't I give it to anyone?" Knight Sorrow said. Then, everyone discussed the following arrangements. In the end, they would use the elites to enter the Sky General region. Ordinary members were fine. If they were discovered, they would alert the enemy. The Great Demon King and Pu Luo's doppelganger left the Night Moon Villa. Knight Sorrow, Lin Piaomiao, Datira, and Sikong Chiyu sat facing each other. "Aoyuo, how's the control of the array?" Knight Sorrow looked at Datira and asked. "After refining the Ice Dragon Pearl, the array can be controlled at will," Datira said. "It wasn't easy to turn danger into safety this time. It was also a wake-up call for us. Something like this can't happen a second time." Knight Sorrow was a little scared. whether it was Mandala or Sikong Chiyu. He couldn't bear the consequences of anything happening to either of them. With this defensive array, you can rest assured. But we don't have your messaging crystal anymore, Datira said. Night Sorrow made a few messaging crystals on the spot and sent them to Datira and Sikong Chiyu. When did 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister go back? Night Sorrow didn't see Aoi, Yanglei, or Shueshi when he returned this time. A few days ago, eldest senior brother came. The 9 Regions World's Medicine Valley was going to hold a disciple recruitment ceremony. Coincidentally, the senior brothers also missed the 2 senior sisters and invited the 2 senior sisters to attend the ceremony. Shueshi was also invited, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Then Chiyu, why didn't you go back? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu and asked. Chiyu was worried that with you back, this place would be empty, Datira said. Night Sorrow turned his head and sighed. He felt a little sour in his heart. He didn't let down the world, but he let down his wife. It's nothing. Night Sorrow, don't think too much about it, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. When I cultivate to the emperor rank and can control my own fate, I will accompany you around. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu and said. Sikong Chiyu nodded. Her eyes were filled with tears. She knew Night Sorrow's feelings for her. Regardless of whether he got married or not, his feelings for her would always be the same. That's strange. Eldest senior brother came to pick up the 2 senior sisters and didn't think to call me. It's not very kind of him to exclude me, Night Sorrow muttered. Don't mind this. Everyone knows that you are a busy person. Unless it is absolutely necessary, no one will disturb you, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. When is the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony? Do you want to go back? Night Sorrow looked at the girls and asked. If you want to go back, we will accompany you. I remember the first time I went to Danding City. That was close to 200 years ago, Sikong Chiyu said. When we go back, I will tell the Great Demon King about this. I plan to stay at the Bamboo Forest Peak in Medicine Valley for a few days, Night Sorrow decided. Night Sorrow found the Great Demon King and Puluo. Lin Piaomiao called Song Ning and Luo Yuandao over. Everyone sat together and told them about the situation. You are really tired. It's good to rest for a few days. With these 2 from the Misty Dynasty to cooperate with us, it will be fine, Puluo said. After Lin Piaomiao left Song Ning a message crystal, Night Sorrow brought the girls to Star Moon City and then teleported to the 9 Regions world. It feels good to be home. Night Sorrow breathed out after feeling the aura of the 9 Regions world. Let's go and see where you used to cultivate. Lin Piaomiao was more excited. Hehe. The only emperor of the 9 Regions world, Night Sorrow, when you go back, the Medicine Valley will line the streets to welcome you, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. No. I don't want that. I just want some peace and quiet. We will sneak back to the Bamboo Forest Peak and see the senior brothers. As for the others, forget about it. It will only disturb their minds, Night Sorrow said. Then energy wrapped around the girls and they began to fly. In other worlds, Night Sorrow was flying at the speed of an emperor. However, in the 9 Regions world it was different. His speed was more than 10 times. Night Sorrow was the ruler here. The energy of heaven and earth, the rules, and the general situation were all under his control. Soon Night Sorrow brought the girls to the Bamboo Forest Peak in the Medicine Valley. Chapter 1810. The sword-wielding men's voices were so loud that even Night Sorrow was startled. Calm down everyone. I'm from the Medicine Valley. Hold on, someone's coming. Night Sorrow sensed that his senior brothers and sisters, who had been drinking tea and chatting in the bamboo grove, were flying over. They had already found out what was going on here. Gong Xian led his junior brothers and sisters to the bamboo grove. When he saw Night Sorrow, he was very excited. He walked over to Night Sorrow and gave him a hug. 13, you're back. Eldest senior brother, why didn't you inform me that 11th senior brother and 12th senior brother are not back? Night Sorrow looked around and realized that the 2 senior brothers were missing. They went to cultivate with the god-slaying team. I didn't want to delay them. Besides, I couldn't contact them, Gong Xian said. Eldest senior brother, Can you tell them that this is my territory? Night Sorrow said as he pointed at the sword-wielding disciples. Bastard, this is your 13th senior brother. Haven't you seen his portrait in the sect? Sure, Tianlin scolded because he felt embarrassed. These were his grand disciples. These disciples were a little dumbfounded. They had seen Night Sorrow's portrait before, but they were not prepared for this. Su Feng, do you remember Su Feng? They are Su Feng's disciples, Sure Tianlin said. Yes, Su 12. When I joined the sect, he was older than me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Why are you still standing there? Admit your mistake. Sure Tianlin roared. 8th senior brother, there's no need. Do what you need to do. I'm going to stay here for a few days, Night Sorrow said to the frightened disciples. The disciples bowed to Night Sorrow and the others and left. Just as Night Sorrow and the others were about to speak, the 8-dragon cauldron above Danding Cliff in the Medicine Valley shone brightly and enveloped the entire cliff. On Danding Cliff, the statue of Night Sorrow was covered with rays of light. What's going on? Night Sorrow asked the 8-dragon cauldron's spirit. Master has returned. The subbody of the 8 dragons cauldron is evolving, said the spirit of the 8 dragons cauldron. All right. I can't even keep it a secret if I want to. Night Sorrow felt helpless. There shouldn't be anyone coming to disturb us. Come here and pass down my orders. Taishan Peak will not receive any visitors, Gong Xian shouted to Su Feng's disciple. Afterwards, everyone casually chatted and drank tea. Everyone was very happy because there were sincere feelings between them. At this time, the elders of the main peak of the Medicine Valley and the peak masters of the other peaks had all come to Danding Cliff. They looked at Danding Cliff, which was full of flashing lights, in confusion. Master, I was patrolling Taishan Peak and saw that the disciples of Taishan Peak had sealed off the mountain. I don't understand what's going on. A disciple of the Medicine Valley reported to Chu Lingxiao with a bow. It's nothing. Tighten the patrols at Taishan Peak. The Taishan Peak will not be lifted. No one is allowed to break into the mountain, said Chu Lingxiao. Why? Duan Lei, the peak master of Cloud Sea Peak, asked in confusion. No need to ask. He's back. I guess he wants to be quiet and doesn't want to see anyone. He's also the treasurer of the senior brothers and sisters of Taishan Peak. Therefore, the Taishan Peak ordered the mountain to be sealed off, said Lin Jingyi. Look at JL4, Chapter O, Section SV. Yes, he likes to be quiet and doesn't like to show off. It's been like this for so many years. We want to see him, but we don't have the chance, Yan Beiji of the North Peak sighed and said. Yu and Jiang Han, who were standing behind them, looked at each other. They had fought side by side with Night Sorrow. They were happy to hear that Night Sorrow had returned. However, after hearing Yan Beiji's words, they knew that it was not appropriate to see Night Sorrow. Since Danding Cliff has such a reaction, let's temporarily seal it off for a few days. We'll see how it goes, said Chu Lingxiao to Elder Su, who was guarding Danding Cliff. Elder Su nodded. Danding Cliff could be said to be the signature of the Medicine Valley. Nothing could happen to it. After that, the group of people dispersed. Everyone had their own thoughts. They had experienced what happened 200 years ago, and knew what the Medicine Valley was like 200 years ago. After Night Sorrow appeared, the Medicine Valley was reborn. Recently, the Tianding Gate of the Tianxian world had the idea of merging with the Medicine Valley. Everyone in the Medicine Valley was looking into this matter. If it was in the past, the Medicine Valley would naturally be considered as returning to the Danding Gate. However, things were different now. The Medicine Valley's strength and prestige were not inferior to the Tianding Gate. In fact, they were far superior. While drinking and chatting, Gong Xian also told Night Sorrow about this matter. What did Master, Grand Elder, and the others say? Yi Shang asked. They didn't say anything. They just let me make the arrangements. The Tianding King is currently in the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley is the #1 sect in the 9 domains world. If it merged with the Danding Gate, the Medicine Valley would disappear. Many people would be upset. First of all, we can't accept this. The Medicine Valley has gone through too much to reach where it is today. It shouldn't disappear in the long river of history, said Gong Xian. Where is the Tianding King? I'll talk to him, asked Night Sorrow. He couldn't accept the disappearance of the Medicine Valley. He's in the VIP building in the main hall. The main reason is because the inheritance of the Medicine Valley is undoubtedly the Tianding Gate. No one can deny this, said Huanan. I'll deal with this matter later, said Night Sorrow to Gongxian and the others. 13. You must protect the Medicine Valley. This is 6 senior sister's home. Aoi's voice was a little choked up. 6 senior sister, don't worry. No matter the price, I will protect the Medicine Valley, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, don't think too much about some things. I don't think the Tianding King will make unreasonable demands. The Medicine Valley has been developing independently all these years, said Lin Piaomiao. I know. I'm familiar with the Tianding King. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. Everyone calm down. There's nothing 13 can't handle. There's still food in the kitchen. We don't lack wine. Xueshi, go and hunt some game. The men chop wood and light the fire. The women cook. Let's get to work, said Yang Lei. Old Nine, why aren't you stressed? Asked Huanan, puzzled. It's simple. I won't admit it if it's too much. Which side is 13 on? Is he on our side? Yang Lei said with a smile. Her thoughts were simple. If the Tianding Gate was unreasonable, she wouldn't admit it. Simple and crude is also the most effective. Old Nine, 8th senior brother will toast to you later, said Shi Tianlin. After drinking with his senior sisters and brothers, Night Sorrow left the bamboo forest peak and went to the VIP building in the Medicine Valley. The VIP building in the Medicine Valley was full of people. This was the first time the Medicine Valley was accepting disciples after the change in the apprenticeship ceremony. Some people came to watch the ceremony and congratulate them. The Tianding King, Yu Yangyu, and Hua Yimpeng were all there. After Yishang arrived, Heavenly Cauldron Monarch cupped his fists to greet Yishang. Yishang also cupped his fists in return. One was showing respect to the emperor while the other was showing respect to the elders of the sect. Chapter 1811. We were just talking about you. How are you doing in the celestial realm? Hua Yimpeng asked as he looked at Night Sorrow. I just came back today. I plan to stay in the bamboo forest peak for a few days. After drinking with my senior brothers, I'll come and pay my respects to my master and a few elders, Night Sorrow said as he sat down. Since you're back, stay here for a few more days. Also, I have some things to discuss with you. Now that the development of the 9-domain world has surpassed that of the mysterious sky world, Elder Xiang wants to relocate the Tianding Gate to the 9-domain world. Yu Yangyu said. Just now, senior brother told me about this. I feel that I should consider it carefully. After all, the words Medicine Valley implicate many people's feelings. Night Sorrow brought up the matter of the sect merging. Domain Master, you're thinking too much. This matter hasn't been officially brought up. Many things haven't been brought up yet. I'm just talking to your master. Moving the Tianding Gate to the 9-domain world will only be a branch of the Medicine Valley. After all, the Medicine Valley is developing well. Even if the Tianding Gate becomes a branch, it will still be better than in the mysterious sky world. The Medicine Valley will still be the Medicine Valley. This will not change. Therefore, there's no need to worry, Tianding King said. Thank you, Elder Xiang. The Medicine Valley is the #1 sect in the 9-domain world. Therefore, nothing can happen to it. We can't let it disappear into history. Please understand, King. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands towards the Tianding King. Are your senior brothers and sisters worried? Hua Yimpeng said with a smile. Yes. Everyone is very nervous. Night Sorrow didn't hide it from them. Later, we'll discuss this matter with your senior brother. You don't have to worry. There won't be any big changes, Yu Yangyu said. After chatting with Yu Yangyu and the others for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the bamboo forest peak. At this time, the bamboo forest peak was still very lively. Everyone made a fire and roasted the Mongolian gazelle. There were fruits, tea, and wine on the table next to them. Everyone was having a good time. However, Yishan knew that everyone was under pressure because of the merger of the sections. After sitting down, Night Sorrow told everyone about Tianding King's intentions. Master didn't tell us and let us panic. Now we are at ease. 13 is the most effective, Shi Tianlin said. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, everyone felt at ease. After eating the roasted lamb and drinking some wine, everyone left. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow came to the bottom of Danding Cliff. The flowing light on Danding Cliff was still flickering, and the energy was rolling. It was much more ferocious than usual. Many Medicine Valley disciples were watching from the periphery. The disciple recruitment ceremony was about to begin. Everyone was surprised that something like this happened. Many people didn't know why. Night Sorrow nodded to Lin Jingyi, Yu Jianghan, and the others who he knew. Then he bowed to Elder Su who had been guarding Danding Cliff. He walked to the bottom of Danding Cliff, stepped on the cliff, and flew up. Every time Night Sorrow's feet touched the ground, his body would fly hundreds to hundreds of feet. Seeing Night Sorrow flying in the rolling energy without being affected at all, everyone was surprised and began to talk. Nangong Dai, who was standing in front of the disciples, frowned. Don't talk. As for who he is, don't you see the statue on Danding Cliff? After hearing Nangong Dai's words, the disciples who were talking were surprised. The owner of the statue on Danding Cliff was a legend in the Medicine Valley and the Nine Domains world. After flying up, Danding Cliff, which was tens of thousands of feet high, was under Night Sorrow's feet. Although they couldn't go up, the disciples of the Medicine Valley had investigated the situation on Danding Cliff. No one could climb to the top of Danding Cliff. Today, someone was carrying it with one hand on his back and directly reaching the top. After looking at the Eight-Dragon Cauldron, Night Sorrow communicated with the weapon spirit of the Eight-Dragon Cauldron. The Medicine Valley couldn't be broken by anyone below the Emperor level. Even a beginner Emperor level cultivator couldn't do it. The Eight-Dragon Cauldron could gather the surrounding energy to attack. After hearing this news, Night Sorrow was quite satisfied. The safety of the Medicine Valley was extremely important to him. He only wanted to be able to restrain anyone below the Emperor level. If any cultivator above the Emperor level appeared, they would all be under his control. After sensing it, Night Sorrow waved his arm and moved the Holy Spirit Stone into the Eight-Dragon Cauldron. F. Yong Tu Geoffrey read novel Why the Holy Spirit Stone flew into the Eight-Dragon Cauldron in a semicircle like a white waterfall. Night Sorrow didn't lack Holy Spirit Stones, so he planned to put more in the Eight-Dragon Cauldron. This way, the energy on Danding Cliff would be denser, and it would make the cultivation environment for the disciples of the Medicine Valley better. In addition, Danding Cliff and the Eight-Dragon Cauldron were in a cycle. Unless it was absorbed by the disciples of the Medicine Valley, the energy wouldn't be lost. That's a big deal. This time, there are more than 2 million Holy Spirit Stones. The Tianding King, who was watching from the mountain opposite Danding Cliff, said to Hua Yunpeng. For the development of the Medicine Valley, Night Sorrow spared no effort. The Medicine Valley today is the result of his hard work, Hua Yunpeng said with some emotion. After doing all this, Night Sorrow turned around and looked at the people below the cliff. He didn't want to go down Danding Cliff. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to stand the etiquette of greeting each and every one of them. Besides his status, he was also the elder of many people in the Medicine Valley. He's running away? Yu, Gulin, and Jiang Han, who were watching from below Danding Cliff, looked at each other. If you were him, you would run away too. Would you be willing to be surrounded by a large group of people? Yu said with a smile. Of course. In the past, the Medicine Valley was oppressed by the Golden Flame sect and bullied by the Red Cloud sect. But now? Our robes are our glory. Gulin tidied up his robes. Where are the two brothers from the Sure family? They aren't here. If they were, let them charge forward. We'll go to the bamboo forest peak and drink with great Elder Yi. Gulin said with a smile. Coward. You don't dare, but I dare. A man in a blue robe appeared. He was Shi Yunhai, who was close to Night Sorrow. You came back just in time. Yu said with a smile. He knew that Shi Yunxiao and Shi Yunhai were traveling around to improve their strength. It's the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony. I had to come back to take a look. But I didn't expect Great Elder Yi to come back, Shi Yunhai said. 13. The Medicine Valley is really lively. Aoi said when she saw Night Sorrow return to the bamboo forest peak. Aoi was in a good mood now that the sect merger wouldn't become a hidden worry. Do you know that the 9-domain world has unlimited room for development in the future? Uncle King Yewu said that the nine-domain world is the prototype of the celestial realm. Night Sorrow said with a smile. So powerful. Young Lei was stunned. King Yewu only told Night Sorrow some things. The others didn't know about it. Yes, so the Medicine Valley's prospects are very good. Let Ning Yun and Chiyue come back to teach disciples. I'm a disciple of the Medicine Valley. I need to have an inheritance. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Chapter 1812. Ning Yun and July were cultivating in the city in the sky because the secondary body of the Haotian Pagoda was currently in the city in the sky. Night Sorrow's clone in the Heaven Sealing Hall informed Ning Yun and July to come to the Medicine Valley. After Ning Yun and July received the notice, they took their children to the Medicine Valley and went to the bamboo forest peak to meet Night Sorrow. Ning Yun's child was called Ning Jing. He was also a young man. The three of them met Night Sorrow. Ning Yun still didn't know why his master called him here. It's almost time for the Medicine Valley's Disciple Recruitment Hall. You and Chiyue are both my disciples. You also need to take in disciples and develop the legacy. Yishang looked at Ning Yun and Chiyue and said, Master, you are accepting disciples at this apprentice hall? Ning Yun asked in surprise. I am a disciple of the Medicine Valley. I have been traveling outside these years. You and July haven't stayed in the Medicine Valley, but this doesn't deny that we are the core disciples of the Medicine Valley. You will also need to settle down for a period of time in the future, so I am opening the apprentice hall. Night Sorrow nodded. We understand. Ning Yun and July bowed to Night Sorrow. Then I will set up a dojo for you and your wife later, Gong Xian said with a smile. He was very happy. In fact, this was what many people wanted to see. Gong Xian and the others didn't care about the apprentice hall. They all stayed in the bamboo forest peak, because it was rare for Night Sorrow to come back. There were only 2 disciples in the Taishan Peak. It was very difficult for Night Sorrow to accept another disciple, but Night Sorrow's disciples were already very good at accepting disciples. When you accept disciples, first focus on their temperament, then on their aptitude. Before the apprentice hall, you must first come to my statue at Pill Tripod Cliff to pay your respects, Night Sorrow instructed. Uncle, don't worry. Since July and Ning Yun are accepting disciples, we naturally have to bring them to pay respects to the Grandmaster, July said with a smile. That's not the reason. Do you think I care about that? Night Sorrow smiled. 13. Why is that? Huanan asked. Ning Yun and July were not the only ones who didn't understand. Gong Xian and the others didn't understand either. Night Sorrow then told them that he had injected a strand of soul power into the sculpture at Danding Cliff. Originally, his statue at Danding Cliff had been worshipped by many people over the years. It already contained a very strong power of merit and faith. He injected his soul power into it, and could sense everything outside. If an evil person came, he would be able to sense it. 13. In the future, when the Medicine Valley accepts disciples, all the new disciples will go to Danding Cliff to pay their respects. That way, we will be able to get rid of those with bad morals, Wu Qi said excitedly. Second senior brother, how can I care about so many things? I can only pay attention to the matters of my own sect, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's settled then. In the future, during the Medicine Valley's disciple recruitment ceremony, the new disciples must go to Danding Cliff to pay respects to our Merit Emperor. Gong Xian made a decision. Eldest senior brother, that's not appropriate. There are many people in the Medicine Valley who are older than me. It will make people feel bad, Night Sorrow said. 13. You are the Realm Lord of the 9 Domains world, the Realm Lord of the Chaos Realm, and the only Merit Emperor of Reincarnation. Who can't afford to pay respects to you? Yang Lei said with a smile. Then Wu Qi asked people to arrange a dojo for Ning Yun and July. Normally, there should be 2 dojos. However, because the 2 were husband and wife, 1 was enough. The Medicine Valley was no longer the Medicine Valley of the past. With the development of the 9 Domains world, the mountains and rivers were growing. The Medicine Valley's area had expanded by more than 10 times. There were also several mountains around the main peak of Taishan Peak. There was no problem in building a dojo. J** because there was still time, Knight Sorrow accompanied Sikong Chiyu to pay respects to his father-in-law, Sikong Tianding, and mother-in-law. Then they returned to the bamboo forest peak to settle down. As for the disciple acceptance ceremony, Knight Sorrow didn't go. He just stood on Danding Cliff and watched. When he saw Shi Yunhai, Yu Gulin, and Jiang Han, Knight Sorrow came to them. Are you guys accepting disciples? If you don't have anything to do, let's find a place to have a drink. We haven't had a drink together for many years. Haha. No, let's drink first. Besides, the disciple acceptance ceremony won't end today. If you come out, I won't have to look for you. I originally planned to go to Taixian Peak in a while. Now there's no need. Shi Yunhai said with a smile. Knight Sorrow and the others went to the back of the Medicine Valley's main peak. Shi Yunhai roasted a wild beast, and they drank. Shi Yunhai and the others were very happy. It wasn't that they were happy to drink with the Emperor Knight Sorrow, but that they were still brothers in the same sect. Knight Sorrow and his wife stayed in the Medicine Valley for half a month. As for the Tianding Gate moving to the Medicine Valley of the Nine Zones world, he didn't have to worry about it. As long as the Medicine Valley was stable, it was enough for him. Knight Sorrow brought his wife back to the Celestial Realm. When Night Moon Villa, the Demon King and Pu Luo were talking about something. After sitting down, Knight Sorrow asked, "What's the situation?" "We can confirm that Yuan Ji is in the Celestial Realm's Celestial City." Near the Celestial City's City Lord's office, an emperor of the Demon Wing clan was found. "It should be a doppelganger. I think it's monitoring Yuan Ji," the Demon King said. "The most important thing is the information. If we can find out all the emperors of the Demon Wing clan, we can attack. If not, we can only wait," Knight Sorrow said. "It's very difficult." They opened a space-time tunnel. In order to send as many people as possible, they will come with their real bodies and doppelganger. 7 people's real bodies and doppelganger make up 14 people with combat power. Maybe one of them has a real body or doppelganger on Tianhuang. That means there are at least 13 of them. The one who self-destructed is 12, Pu Luo said. Excluding the one hiding in the Human Dao Alliance in the Divine Capital, and the one monitoring Yuan Ji, there are still 10 missing, said the Great Demon King. Who is currently in charge of the Demon Wing clan member monitoring Yuan Ji? Knight Sorrow asked. This is a big matter. It's not suitable to leave it to others. My doppelganger will go, Pu Luo said, patting his chest. Wait for their next mission. They will definitely use the teleportation portal in the Celestial Realm to come to the Celestial Realm. When that time comes, will they still be able to hide? Knight Sorrow pointed out the key point. Okay then. I will watch over the teleportation portal. I will find them, the Demon King said, accepting the mission. After spending a day at the Night Moon Villa, Knight Sorrow went to the Celestial Capital. He was a little worried about Jun Xuanji, so he wanted to see how Xiaomo was doing. After finding Lu Yu and asking about the situation, Knight Sorrow frowned. Xiaomo was still the same. He often explained cultivation techniques to Jun Xuanji. He even said that he didn't get tired of it. What are you thinking about? Yu Zhu asked Knight Sorrow. Chapter 1813. After pondering for a while, Yishang came to a realization. The Demon Wing clan's target in the Divine Capital was not him but Jun Xuanji. But why did they come for Jun Xuanji? That was the crux of the problem. After pondering for a while, Knight Sorrow had some ideas in his head, but he suppressed them. He could only wait and see. Elder Yu Zhu, how's the development of our humanitarian league going? Knight Sorrow asked. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, very good. Recently, we have expanded our territory. You are a talent, Yu Zhu said. You are a good person. Yu Zhu said. It's better to take it slow. We're punishing evil and promoting good, but we still have to give some people a chance to repent. If we use violence to wipe them out, we'll lose the strength of the human race, Knight Sorrow said. You don't know, right? The Elder of the Black Dragons appeared near Tianhuang City and was defeated by the 7th Elder. If he didn't run fast enough, he would have died in Tianhuang City. Of course, he's just an ordinary Elder of the Black Dragons, Yu Zhu said. What kind of grudge do the Black Dragons have with us? Night Sorrow asked. I don't know. Although we have conflicts with other Divine Beast clans, we're on the same side against the Demon Wing clan. However, the Black Dragons will attack us whenever they have the chance, Yu said. They have conflicts with other clans? Night Sorrow was surprised. Yes, you know about the Divine Devil Castle, right? It's a force that belongs to Tianhuang City. However, there are some things that only the law enforcement elders know. Back then, the great guardian of the Divine Devil Castle injured the Golden Dragon. Of course, it was just a fight. Yu told Night Sorrow some things that Night Sorrow didn't know about. The Divine Devil Castle is a force of Tianhuang City? Night Sorrow was shocked. There are some things that can't be mentioned. Perhaps I'll only understand when I reach a certain level. There are some races that are hostile to humans. The Black Dragons are the leaders, and the Flying Snakes are with them. The White Tigers and the Black Dragons are good friends, but the White Tigers have never fought humans before. Yu explained to Night Sorrow. It's very complicated. If you want the human race to be stable, you have to rely on your own abilities. Night Sorrow sighed. Yes, the human race has been developing for the past few years. The Godly Devil Castle was built for the sake of unearthing human elites, said Yu. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood. The human race had been working hard all this time. It was just that ordinary people didn't know about it. After staying at the Night Moon Villa for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the peak of Yawa Mountain. When King Yawu saw Night Sorrow, he pointed at the chair in front of him. At this moment, Lin Piamiao's original body and Fun Tian were cultivating in seclusion. They had just passed the Heavenly Dao tribulation, and had room for improvement. Is there something wrong? King Yawu asked. Yi Shuang hesitated for a moment before asking. Disciple would like to ask, if someone's soul reincarnated and had some accomplishments, before they awaken, can you place a seal on their memories of their previous life, which is to say, their memories of their original body, allowing them to walk the same path as they did in this life? Why are you asking this? Do you have doubts? King Yawu stood up. Disciple is a little conflicted. I'm not sure, but I have some vague ideas. Sha Mo of the Demon Wing clan has come to the Divine Capital. His target isn't me. Night Sorrow said. Why do you think so? King Yawu asked. The first time we met, he was very surprised to see me and even showed hostility. This means that he didn't expect me to appear at all. This means that he came to the Divine Capital not for the disciples, but for Jun Xuanji. Yishan closed his eyes and calmed himself down. If it wasn't necessary, he really didn't want to say it. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, King Yawu fell into deep thought. Before she awakens, I can't be 100% sure. Even if the Demon Wing clan's almighty reincarnated, he wouldn't tell the ordinary Demon Wing clan members about this. The mission of these Demon Wing clan members is only to protect her and support her to the greatest extent. King Yawu explained to Night Sorrow. Disciple doesn't want to be suspicious. If it's a personal matter, Disciple can accompany her. But this involves the human race. Night Sorrow was a little distressed. It's still early. She's still far from the Imperial realm. Even if she's the reincarnation of a female almighty from the Demon Wing clan, there's still time to solve the problem. I'll help you think about this and try not to hurt her, King Yawu said. Disciple even wants to prevent her from becoming an Imperial realm. But if she's not, it's not fair to her. Night Sorrow shook his head and sighed. He really couldn't solve this matter. If she's the reincarnation of a soul, it won't be difficult for her to become an Imperial realm. First of all, the original body has incredible achievements, which means that she has some heavenly fate in her body. In addition, her cultivation talent won't be bad. There's no reason why she can't become an Imperial realm. You don't have to worry about this matter. I'll deal with it. If she's the reincarnation of a soul, I'll first determine who the aura belongs to. If she's a human or another foreign race without any misdeeds, we won't stop her from rising. If it's the other possibility, then I'm sorry. King Yawu expressed his decision. Then I'll deal with it. But I hope you can be gentler on account of the fact that we're from the same world. And she's contributed to the Nine Zones world. Night Sorrow bowed to King Yawu. Don't worry. I'll make a move later. No matter if she's the reincarnation of a soul or not, I won't be in a rush, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow felt more at ease. Then he left Yawa Mountain. Although he didn't want to suspect some things, the Demon Wing clan's actions wouldn't be without reason. So he had to have a backup plan as long as he didn't hurt Jun Xuanji. After chatting with Ruisi and Yuju for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa in the ethereal Imperial City. Night Sorrow didn't practice his spear. Instead, he drank tea and thought about things. He was worried because the Nine Zones world was very deep. It was so deep that even a realm lord like him couldn't control it. Night Sorrow felt that he had to make some arrangements. Thinking about this, Night Sorrow went to Star Moon Lake and met with Qing Emperor and Tang Jianfeng. Master, Uncle Tang, there aren't many high-level cultivators in the Nine Zones world right now. Help me set up a Monarch Realm law enforcement team to patrol the Nine Zones world. All Monarch Realm cultivators have to be recorded, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, are you afraid that an Emperor Realm cultivator will appear and go out of control, endangering the safety of the Nine Zones world? Tang Jianfeng asked. That's right. Night Sorrow nodded. If a lightning tribulation appears in the Nine Zones world, as a realm lord, you should know, right? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Chapter 1814. As the realm lord, Night Sorrow knew about the lightning tribulation in the Nine Regions world. Moreover, he would rush over in time because the tribulation of cultivators would not end quickly. Of course, as the Nine Regions world developed, its surface area would expand infinitely. In the future, Night Sorrow might not have enough time to reach a remote place. However, by then he should have the ability to solve some problems. Night Sorrow, you are worried and confused, Qing Emperor said with a smile. Master, Qing Emperor's dynasty is the first force to develop the Nine Regions world. How is the situation now? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Fortunately, the construction of the city has already reached a certain scale. However, we did not let our people go out to train. After all, we have to give the natives of the Nine Regions world some opportunities, Qing Emperor said. He was still arranging the development of the forces under his command in the Nine Regions world, according to his previous plans. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, after a while, we will be able to develop freely. The elites of the Nine Regions world need space and time to develop. Those who are slightly weaker will need other forces to bring them along. When the time comes, they will join other forces and learn from their masters. Taking advantage of opportunities to rise up is also a path. Realm Lord, can the people of our Xianhuang Great World develop in the Nine Regions world? The Nine Regions world is full of vitality. This is something that the three great worlds of our primal chaos realm cannot compare to. Tang Jianfeng was also interested. Yes, but for now it can only be built. In the next 30 years, high-level cultivators cannot go to the Nine Regions world to train and seek resources. Night Sorrow said to Tang Jianfeng. Okay. As the Realm Lord, you are really considerate of the lives of the Nine Regions world. Naturally, we will not break this order. Tang Jianfeng nodded. We, our ice dragons, also want to develop. We will also make a base in your Nine Regions world, the Far East Icefield. We will give the Far East Icefield of your Eastern Profound Domain to the ice dragons. Shilia appeared and also asked for territory. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Uncle Lai, you can develop in the Eastern Icefields, but there is one place you must leave behind. East Snow Mountain is where my Auntie Faye lives and cultivates. In addition, you cannot attack my Auntie Faye when she goes in or out of the Eastern Icefields, Night Sorrow said. Uncle Lai, Shi Tai, and Shi, you have all met King Wu. There won't be any misunderstandings. The ice dragons won't set foot in East Snow Mountain, Shi Lai promised. Then it's settled. Night Sorrow nodded. After that, Night Sorrow went to see Fun Tian. Fun Tian stayed in an illusion array within the Star Moon City, along with the Divine Capital's law enforcement team and a few protectors. Senior brother, thank you for your hard work. Night Sorrow took out a teapot and brewed a pot of tea before inviting the other protectors to sit down. There's no need for such polite words between us senior and junior brothers. The environment of this Star Moon Lake is not bad, it's quiet and pleasant, Fun Tian said with a smile. After asking if there was anyone who needed his cooperation and chatting for a while, Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa and continued to cultivate his spear arts. Every day, Night Sorrow spent his time cultivating his spear arts. Everything else was on track. On this day, the Great Demon King found Night Sorrow. It won't be easy to dig them out. The guy who is watching UNG hasn't left Sky General City during this period of time. There are only 2 emperors in Sky General City, including UNG. This means that those people aren't in Sky General City. Each of them has a doppelganger. The doppelganger and the original body are in 2 different places. They don't need to meet to send messages, so there's no need for them to leave. Night Sorrow said. Then do you think we can find an excuse that isn't a racial conflict and get rid of the demon-winged clan member who is watching UNG? Then they can send more people out. That way, we can follow the vine and find the melon, the Great Demon King said. Then the Great Demon King explained his plan. Night Sorrow couldn't help but admit that the Great Demon King wasn't easy to deal with. He was full of evil tricks. The Great Demon King's plan was to pretend to be a secluded rogue cultivator in the Sky General world. He would first find trouble with UNG and say that UNG didn't deserve the title of Domain Lord. Then he would kill the chicken to warn the monkey and get rid of the demon-winged clan's emperor. Of course, he wouldn't kill UNG. He would use the excuse that he didn't want to be the Domain Lord to get some benefits. In the end, he would either leave or follow UNG's invitation and sneak into the Sky General City Lord Manor. That way, he would be able to come into contact with the demon-winged clan. Great Demon King, you're shameless. Lin Piao looked at the Great Demon King with disdain. As long as it's to eliminate evil, the method doesn't matter. Isn't that right? Lin Piao, have you always been white? If you were white, would you be able to drag Night Sorrow down to your bed? I can't be bothered to talk to you. The Great Demon King looked at Lin Piao with disdain. Alright, hurry up and go. Night Sorrow was speechless. If he said anything else, the 2 of them would start fighting. The Great Demon King left. He wanted to switch between his original body and his clone. It wasn't suitable for his clone to do these things. The demon-winged clan's emperor wasn't a fool. To be able to differentiate between his original body and his clone, he had to use his original body to do these things. After killing the demon-winged clan's people, he had to make the demon-winged clan's people befriend him and make use of him, the emperor, to do things. Night Sorrow, there are some things that can only be understood and not explained. How can you just dig it out? The Great Demon King is too unkind. Lin Piao blushed at the Great Demon King's words. It is unkind, but isn't it the truth? Pu Luo, who had been sitting at the side drinking tea, said. Scram. An apple on the fruit plate beside Lin Piao flew out. However, Pu Luo was already prepared. In a flash, he ran out of the hall and hummed a tune. Let's go to Twilight Manor to drink tea. I love tea. I'm not paying the bill. Night Sorrow was speechless. The cheerful Pu Luo in the past had learned how to anger people. He went to Twilight Tea House to drink tea and hung up the bill. Was he short of a few tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones? That was nonsense. He wouldn't even be short of a few million. He just wanted to enjoy the feeling of not paying the bill after drinking tea, and then leaving. You've all learned bad things. Lin Piao was so angry that she laughed. However, she knew that this was how friends communicated. If they looked down on you and didn't want to hang out with you, people like Pu Luo and the Great Demon King wouldn't say anything unnecessary to you. That's good. They're all true to themselves. Now let's see how good the Great Demon King is. I don't doubt his ability to kill people. If his acting skills are good enough, then it'll be a success. This is a huge trap. All the members of the Demon Wing clan who came through the space-time tunnel will be wiped out, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, don't be fooled by some people's appearances. No matter if it's Pu Luo, the Great Demon King, Ruisi, or Yuju, any one of them is a lord of the human race. Their abilities are definitely outstanding. It's just that they don't like to show that side of them. If they want to do something, it's impossible. This is a huge trap for the Demon Wing clan, Lin Piao reminded Night Sorrow. Chapter 18:15. Then it's up to you, Night Sorrow said. At this moment, a black-robed old man appeared in the sky in front of the Tianjiang City Lord Manor. Little trash dares to call himself an area lord? Get out here. With this shout, the black-robed old man's energy exploded, causing the City Lord Manor to collapse. Yuan Ji, who had been pondering in the City Lord Manor, was dumbfounded. He hurriedly ran out of the manor because he couldn't see the black-robed old man's cultivation. The black-robed old man was naturally none other than the great demon king who had changed his clothes and appearance. May I ask who you are? Yuan Ji hurriedly bowed when he saw the great demon king. You don't have the right to know. So this is the real area lord. The great demon king's body flashed and flew toward the courtyard where Mo Taisher was hiding. After arriving, he suppressed him with his domain and attacked with his sword. Mo Taisher was an expert among the imperial emperors, but the great demon king was an expert among the imperial emperors who had passed 6 tribulations of the heavenly Tao. The two couldn't be compared at all. After killing Mo Taisher, the great demon king returned to the City Lord Manor. I don't want to be an area lord. I'm not in the mood to manage things. But can that trash be an area lord? Did he give me a heads up? Even if you were the area lord, I wouldn't be so angry. My lord, please sit inside. We can talk in detail. Yuan Ji's face was full of fear. The great demon king was too strong. He killed Mo Taisher with just a few strikes. At least you know what's good for you. I want to kill him whenever I see him. The great demon king snorted coldly. Yuan Ji led him into the undamaged City Lord Manor's backyard. Then, as Yuan Ji probed further, the great demon king explained his situation while cursing. He fabricated his background as a cultivator who had been cultivating in seclusion in the great wilderness of the Tianjiang domain for close to 10 billion years, and had only recently decided to come out for a walk. Senior, you can stay in the City Lord Manor. If I become the area lord, you will be the supreme of the Tianjiang region, Yuan Ji said directly. He naturally wanted to rope in a cultivator with tyrannical combat strength. Prepare a mansion for me and pick some good-looking women. Forget about those below the 8th step. But those above the 8th step who are good-looking and talented in cultivation are also good. Pick a few of them, and keep them if I have a descendant. The great demon king made some requests in order to be more persuasive. Then this junior will arrange it immediately. Yuan Ji wasn't afraid that the great demon king would have a request, but he was afraid that he wouldn't have one. The great demon king stayed in a luxurious residence arranged by Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji was very excited. The death of a demon wing race's monarch didn't have much to do with him. However, with such a great expert by his side, it was different. He had the confidence to cooperate with the demon wing race. Mo Taisher's doppelganger had perished, and his main body had reported the situation to Matian Tuesday. Damn it. How did such an expert suddenly appear in the heavenly general domain? I don't know if Yuan Ji can resolve this crisis. Mo Tiantu's mind was filled with anger. He had brought a limited number of people with him, and losing one was one less. Taisher, you recover first. I'll use an energy doppelganger to investigate. Mo Tiantu didn't dare to send people rashly. If the great demon king went crazy and killed them, the loss would be even greater. He couldn't afford to lose so many people without doing anything serious. Everything went smoothly. The great demon king told Night Sorrow, Lin Piaomiao, and Pu Luo about this. You're too shameless. 8th-step beauties and pretty ones too. Can't you have some backbone? Before Lin Piaomiao could say anything, Pu Luo spoke up. Isn't this the best way to show your humanity? That way, we can avoid suspicion. Besides, I've set up an illusion array, so no one will know what's going on. It's very easy for this demon king to leave something in the memories of an 8th-rank sovereign king. The great demon king said, We don't know if you've really done anything. Lin Piaomiao glanced at the great demon king. You can't doubt my character. I have a queen and a concubine in my own realm. I won't eat just anyone. The great demon king was dissatisfied after hearing Lin Piaomiao's words. That's because you're not thirsty. If you're thirsty, don't talk about food. You'll eat the leftovers like a bun. Pu Luo took a sip of tea and said. Night Sorrow was about to drink some tea when he heard Pu Luo's words. His hand trembled, and the tea almost spilled on his face. Talent. He realized that the few elders of the human Tao sect were all talents. All right. I'll eat it. What can you do? Just wait for my news, said the Great Demon King. Yuan Ji was still a little afraid. The Great Demon King's appearance was a bomb that could explode at any time in his cooperation with Mo Tiantu. He was afraid that the Great Demon King would be disgusted and lose his life. He planned to test the Great Demon King's attitude. Yuan Ji came to the Great Demon King's residence. The Great Demon King was leaning on a recliner and eating precious fruits. A maid was massaging his shoulders behind him. Why is it so difficult for you to get a few level 8 women? Do you want me to find them myself? Seeing Yuan Ji, the Great Demon King roared in dissatisfaction. Senior, Yuan Ji will make the arrangements in a while. However, there are some things that I would like to seek your opinion on. Yuan Ji bowed and said, That bastard was killed by me. Aren't you the ruler of the realm? What can't you decide? The Great Demon King said impatiently. It's like this. A few days ago, some people wanted to cooperate with me. They intend to use our Tianjiang realm as a stronghold to fight with the forces of the celestial realm. Yuan Ji handed a fruit to the Great Demon King. A man's hands are dirty. Don't touch my fruit. Using the Tianjiang realm as a stronghold? Fine. What are the benefits? Are there any benefits? The Great Demon King pointed at the fruit to the maid beside him. He looked like a master. There are some benefits. I will send them to you in a while. However, they seem to have a shady background. Yuan Ji tried to test the Great Demon King's attitude. Do you have a pig's brain? You are the ruler of the Tianjiang realm. You only care about getting resources from the Tianjiang realm. Who cares about their background? What does it have to do with us? So what if they are from the demon-winged race? As long as there are suitable benefits, there are no eternal enemies. Can you still be the ruler of the realm? If you can't, we will replace you. The Great Demon King glared at Yuan Ji with dissatisfaction. Yuan Ji understands. Before sunset, the king-level beauty will be sent to you. Yuan Ji felt relieved and left the mansion. Haha. The Great Demon King's clone in Night Moon Villa laughed. That pig. You even want to test this Demon King. This Demon King made him burst with joy. Then, the Great Demon King sat on the recliner and played the roles of two people. He imitated Yuan Ji's voice perfectly. That works. Isn't he just waiting for the demon-winged race to take the bait? Night Sorrow was surprised. He didn't expect the Great Demon King to be so good at deceiving people. Yuan Ji was sold and he was still so happy. Chapter 18:16. Can you be more shameless? Tell Yuan Ji that since you can cultivate to the emperor level, your family's bloodline and talent should be pretty good. Don't you have any sisters or daughters? Send me too. Pu Luo imitated the Great Demon King's voice. Sure. That's a good idea. Pu Luo, you have a bright future. The Great Demon King gave Pu Luo a thumbs up. Don't go overboard. It's not good now, Lin Piaomiao said. She was worried that the Great Demon King would go overboard. That character is an arrogant and despotic master. Yuan Ji can't wait to suck up to him. You don't have to worry about it. I'm going to have fun. The Great Demon King closed his eyes and rocked his chair. His mind was on his main body. That B***TCH is invincible. Pu Luo shook his head. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao looked at each other and laughed. The Great Demon King had made such a despicable character. He was indeed invincible. Elder Lin, you have to keep an eye on Night Sorrow. Don't let him be as despicable as the Great Demon King. If he's so despicable, he's really uncontrollable. Pu Luo said. Night Sorrow won't. If a woman looks at him twice, he'll blush. Besides, he doesn't eat everything. Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. Hurry up and F***ck him. Yes, he doesn't eat everything. Pu Luo laughed and left. Night Sorrow, what do you want to eat? Lin Piaomiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. What food? Sister Xian, or you've been led astray by them. Other than the food at home, I don't eat anything else. Night Sorrow said helplessly. Hehe. I'm just joking. Don't take it seriously. How can your husband not understand? Lin Xian'er said with a smile. Seeing Night Sorrow's conflicted expression and not knowing where to start, Lin Xian'er sat beside Night Sorrow and said, "Then I want to eat food today." Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xian'er and said, Lin Piamiao blushed. The Great Demon King started to stir up trouble in the Sky General region. He really did what Pulua wanted, and was not satisfied with the women sent by Yuan Ji. He wanted high-level cultivation women from the Yuan family. Yuan Ji agreed without hesitation, and sent the 2 unmarried Yuan family women to the Great Demon King's mansion. However, the Great Demon King didn't take advantage of this. He only used his soul to influence the 2 women, making them believe that something had really happened. Even if Yuan Ji asked, he wouldn't be able to get anything out of them. When they no longer needed it, the Great Demon King would remove his influence on their souls, and they would understand the truth. The Great Demon King wasn't willing to take advantage of her. Not only did he fail to take advantage of her, but he also ended up being called a heartless man. Yuan Ji and Ma Tiantu talked about the situation of the Great Demon King. Although Mo Xiantu was very angry about the death of Mo Tiesher's doppelganger, he knew that the current situation was not dire. With the Great Demon King overseeing the Tianjiang region, they were relatively safe. However, there were still some problems that needed to be solved by Mo Xiantu. The Great Demon King wanted resources, and Yuan Ji didn't recognize them. Naturally, Mo Xiantu would have to provide them. Without any other choice, Mo Xiantu's incarnation came to negotiate with Yuan Ji, and agreed to provide the resources. However, Mo Xiantu hoped that the Great Demon King could help him out when the time came. When Yuan Ji passed on the message, he was directly chased away by the Great Demon King, who told him to talk with him. At this time, Mo Xiantu had no choice but to talk, because the Great Demon King was now a double-edged sword. He would either help them or suppress them. This time, Mo Xiantu came personally from the small world to Sky General City, and arrived at the Great Demon King's mansion. First he took out the gift, and then spoke of his thoughts. "It's not that I can't help you this time, but it depends on the situation. You want me to kill an emperor, and this is the gift? Scram as far as you can." The Great Demon King looked at the gift and said, "There's definitely no emperor. We just want to capture a city. Senior, please help us to deal with some unexpected situations. They have a teleportation array. Senior, please occupy the teleportation array as soon as possible. We can solve some problems on our own," Mo Xiantu said. "If that's the case, that's fine. But remember, don't mess with me. Otherwise, you can imagine the consequences. Also, if you have anything else to do, hurry up and arrange it. I'm going to take these beauties out to play. I don't have time to waste with you." The Great Demon King waved his sleeves and chased Yuan Ji and Mo Xiantu away. Yuan Ji and Mo Xiantu returned to the City Lord Mansion. "How's your infiltration going?" Mo Xiantu looked at Yuan Ji and asked. "We've entered Xingyue City, but it's impossible to secretly teleport to Night Sorrow's world. There's an emperor guarding it. We have to fight and occupy it instantly. After we enter the 9-domain world, my doppelganger will dismantle the teleportation array in Star Moon City. This way, even if they want to go back to help, they won't be able to. My doppelganger will take the main body of the Emperor-grade teleportation array, and the 9-domain world's teleportation array crystal, and hide them. In the future, we will decide where to set them up. That realm will be completely under our control," Yuan Ji said. "That's right, but you can't do it alone. With your strength, any emperor can snatch the teleportation array crystal, and the crystal back. I'll send someone to follow you," Mo Xiantu said. The emperor-level teleportation array was too important. Naturally, Mo Xiantu couldn't let Yuan Ji control it alone. "You don't trust me?" Yuan Ji was an old fox. He naturally knew what Mo Xiantu meant. "Whether or not we can return from the realm depends on this emperor-level teleportation array. Our fates can't be in your hands, right?" Mo Xiantu said bluntly. Yuan Ji looked at Mo Xiantu for a while, then smiled. He knew that there was no room for negotiation. If it were him, he wouldn't put his fate in someone else's hands. Besides, Yuan Ji also had some concerns. Right now, Demon Wing Clan was not his only target. If they didn't cooperate well with him, they could go to the Great Demon King. It would definitely work. With beauties and resources, the Great Demon King wouldn't refuse. At that time, not only would the two direct descendants of his Yuan clan be given away for free, he wouldn't get anything. Since we have the help of this great expert, we can attack directly. Let this great expert take control of the teleportation array and cut off the connection between Misty Imperial City and Xingyue City. Then, we'll have enough time to take control of Xingyue City. Mo Xiantu was afraid that things would change if they delayed. He didn't want to follow Yuan Ji's route of infiltration. That's fine. Are your people ready? I can arrange a team, but there will only be one emperor, Yuan Ji said. Chapter 1817. Yuyong. Geo 6 free * read novels. The Great Demon King's clone told Night Sorrow and the others that they could set up an ambush in Starmoon City. They could also start preparing for a full-scale attack on the Celestial Domain. He felt that Yuan Ji and the others were about to make their move. Lin Piaomiao mobilized Luo Yuandao's shadow army and followed Night Sorrow's secret teleportation formation to the Celestial Domain. After ambushing Yuan Ji, Ma Tiantu, and the others, the Misty Dynasty would also complete their control of the Celestial Domain. In addition, Night Sorrow, Lin Piaomiao, and the Great Demon King's clone arrived at Starmoon Lake. Pu Luo took the secret teleportation formation to Celestial Domain. He was going to monitor the teleportation formation. If one or two Demon Wing clan members were missing, he would use the teleportation formation to determine where they came from and which small world Ma Tiantu and the others were hiding in. Once the battle started, the Demon Wing clan's emperor would inevitably be killed. At that time, the seal on them that prevented divination would disappear. They could then use divination to determine where the Demon Wing clan was hiding. However, divination was not omnipotent. If you were given the surrounding environment and location, how could you check if you did not know which world it was? If you knew which world it was and the location, there would be no problem. Everything was ready. Night Sorrow and the others were waiting for Yuan Ji, Ma Tiantu, and the others to take the bait. In order to avoid being discovered by the spies in the Celestial Domain that had infiltrated Starmoon City, Night Sorrow and the others went to Datura first. They sent away the people around the teleportation formation, and then teleported over and stayed in the illusion formation. Starmoon City's defense formation was very advanced. There were both illusion formations and killing formations. Ma Tiantu's main body reported everything that happened in the celestial realm to Mo Tianji. He was actually a mouthpiece. Everything was under Mo Tianji's command. It's a good thing to meet an insatiable expert. After this is successful, that imperial-grade teleportation formation will be in your hands. Only then will you be absolutely safe, Mo Tianji said. Ma Tiantu understands. Ma Tiantu bowed. Right now we don't have the ability to bring you back. After this operation is over, if you hide well, we will win. Mo Tianji was also quite excited. With her main body back, she would be able to recover to her peak state after a period of recovery. Once her soul reincarnated clone awakened its memories and needed to break through, she would be able to fuse with it and break through her shackles. The only variable is that greedy guy. If he doesn't betray us, then this matter will be settled, Mo Lu said. Hurry up and take action, lest any undue delay brings trouble. After this cooperation, hide as deep as you can. Also, pretend that Sha Mo doesn't exist in your team. He is fully responsible for nurturing that woman. Mo Tianji gave another order. While Yuan Ji and Ma Tiantu were preparing, the Ethereal Dynasty had already completed their preparations. If it was just eliminating a few monarchs, it wouldn't be difficult. In fact, it could even be said that a monarch could hire a few diviners to find the whereabouts of the monarchs. The reason why Night Sorrow and the others were so cautious was because they didn't want any fish to escape the net. If they didn't completely eliminate them, it would be difficult to catch them again. With the craftiness of the demonic wing race, even leaving one alive would cause endless trouble. Who knew which one he would bribe or which one he would instigate? For the human race, some unstable factors existed. A sturdy fortress wasn't afraid of external attacks, but it was afraid of internal disintegration. Ma Tiantu and Yuan Ji communicated again, and prepared to take action. The two of them found the Great Demon King, and told him that they were going to start the operation. All right, let's finish this quickly and get back to business. The Great Demon King patted the chest of the Yuan clan girl that Yuan Ji had sent over. The Great Demon King followed Yuan Ji and Ma Tiantu to the teleportation array. After waiting for a while, demonic wing race people came out. However, including Ma Tiantu, there were only 9 of them. Night Sorrow and the Great Demon King had calculated that there should be 10 demonic wing race people. Ma Tiantu left one behind, because if something really happened, they wouldn't lose their fire seed. However, at this time, Pu Luo's voice came from the Great Demon King's spirit sea, telling him not to worry and to continue the operation. Once all of these demonic wing race people were killed, he would do a quick divination. The Great Demon King tidied his robe and communicated with Pu Luo through soul transmission. He would lead these people into the huge pit in Star Moon City and quickly finish the job. Afterwards, the diviner would use the corpses for divination. After that, he would accompany Pu Luo to catch the remaining evil. The Great Demon King's clone also informed Night Sorrow to prepare for battle, and that they were missing one person. Get ready, diviner. Do the divination at any time. Lin Piaomiao said to the divination master of the Misty Dynasty. Night Sorrow, this time, I will take back the colored glass saint bone that I owe you. Song Ning's face was full of killing intent. If asked who wanted to kill Yuan Ji the most, it would be Song Ning. Yuan Ji not only tricked her, but also almost killed her and Wu Feng. What kind of enmity was this? This was a life and death grudge. That's not what you owe me. It's what Yuan Ji owes me. It has nothing to do with you. Night Sorrow said. These are all small matters. The teleportation has already begun. Everyone, prepare for battle. This battle can solve some hidden problems. The Great Demon King said. Soon, under Yuan Ji's lead, the Great Demon King and the 9 monarchs of the demon-winged clan arrived at the periphery of Star Moon Lake. The remaining part of the journey is to fly across Star Moon Lake and attack Star Moon City. Yuan Ji said. I'm only in charge of killing. The rest is up to you. Your Yuan clan's women are quite tasty. Go back and send me 2 more of your Yuan clan's women. The Great Demon King said to Yuan Ji. He was too lazy to talk to Mo Xiantu and the others. After we return, this junior will send it to senior. In this battle, we must first control the teleportation formation and cut off their reinforcements. By the time their reinforcements arrive, everything will already be over. The corner of Yuan Ji's eyes twitched. It was true that the Yuan clan was a big clan. However, there were not many women in the clan who could cultivate to the king realm. If the Great Demon King wanted them all, he would have them all. Moreover, these women were of different generations. It was not reasonable for all of them to give themselves to a single person. However, Yuan Ji did not dare to refute. After explaining the battle plan once more, the Great Demon King and the others flew towards Star Moon City. The distance was not far. Moments later, they arrived above Star Moon City. Then, the group rushed towards the center of the city. The instant they landed on the ground, some of the scenery changed. Some illusion arrays stopped operating, while others started operating. Night Sorrow and the others also appeared from the illusion arrays, surrounding Yuan Ji, Mo Xiantu and the others. Trap. Senior, hurry up and kill. Take us out. Yuan Ji roared. Seeing Lin Piaomiao, Yuan Ji understood that this operation had failed. He knew that the Great Demon King was very strong. However, there were too many experts surrounding them. Night Sorrow, wasn't it beautiful this time? The Great Demon King walked towards Night Sorrow. You betrayed us? Yuan Ji finally understood. Chapter 1818. After saying something that shocked Mo Xiantu and Yuan Ji, the Great Demon King turned around and threw out a sword attack. It was very sudden. His target was not Mo Xiantu or Yuan Ji, but Sha Mo. Sha Mo was still shocked by the sudden change in the situation. Added with the fact that the Great Demon King had suddenly used his Emperor realm to suppress him, he did not manage to dodge the sword attack. In fact, he could not dodge it at all. The way you look at me can be filled with admiration or disdain. But forget about that look of disdain. Those who used to look at me with that look are all dead. After putting away his weapon, the great demon king lifted his chin at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow gave the great demon king a thumbs up. Right now the one who should be killed the most was Shamo. They could not let him be alerted. Otherwise, there might be some changes in the godly capital. Who the hell are you? Yuan knew that he had lost. He had been tricked this time. I am the great demon king. I am friends with Night Sorrow and Master Lin, the so-called Misty Battle Emperor. Do you think I should teach you a lesson? Haha. The great demon king laughed. Blame me for being blind. You played with the women of my Yuan family and tricked my family. You will suffer retribution. Yuan-ji's face looked very ugly. You are blind. That is for sure. As for playing with the women of your Yuan family, forget it. This demon king doesn't do everything. And I don't fancy just any woman. I really didn't do anything to those women in your family. The great demon king said. He could take the blame for some things, but he wasn't willing to take the blame for others. Stop lying to yourself. I have asked them, and they said it themselves. Yuan-ji's face turned pale. You are stupid. I have bewitched their souls and instilled some subconscious in them. Do you understand? You are so stupid. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. Fun Tian, get to work. The great demon king attacked as soon as he finished speaking. A few emperors attacked together. In just a short moment, all the people brought by Yuan-ji and Mo Xiantu were killed. Not a single one escaped. Fortune tellers, find out where their base is. Lin Piaomiao said to the fortune tellers. One of you, divine where this guy's clone is. Song Ning pointed at Yuan-ji's headless corpse. The clairvoyant began to get busy, and soon divined the location of the only member of the Demon Wing clan. Yuan-ji's clone had also been found in Tianjiang City. Keep an eye on the various teleportation arrays in the Tianjiang domain. We'll start capturing people, Night Sorrow said. Following which, the cleanup operation began. The arresting party brought along a group of diviners and began to perform divination on the corpses. Supra, our new chapter J. Yuan-ji's clone was captured and killed. However, the remaining Demon Wing race's monarch was very capable. Even so, it was only a matter of time before it was captured. The spatial world that Ma Tiantu and the others were temporarily residing in was very small. It was a barren world. The surface area wasn't big. If multiple emperors went in to capture it, this Devil Wing race's emperor wouldn't be able to escape. Night Sorrow arrived at the god capital and asked about Sha Mo's situation. Sha Mo was still by Jun Xuanji's side. Sha Mo also knew that he was in great danger. However, even if he was in danger, he couldn't retreat. He wanted to bet that Night Sorrow and the others hadn't discovered his existence. As long as he could help Jun Xuanji rise, his mission would be completed. Luo Yuandao's Dark Shadow Army had already taken over the entire Tianjiang domain, and the Yuan clan was a thing of the past. The great demon king removed the sole control he had on the Yuan clan's women. You will serve me tea for a few days, and I won't make things difficult for you. However, I have a few words of advice for you. Walk your own path. The past has nothing to do with you, and the future has nothing to do with you. If you still have hatred in your heart, then you will be doomed eternally. The great demon king looked at the Yuan clan's women and said, Thank you, my lord. Yuan-ji gave us away without considering our feelings. We are just cannon fodder for the Yuan clan. A Yuan clan's woman said, All right. Since all of you are able to cultivate to the sovereign king realm, you must have your own sense of right and wrong. If you really have any problems that you can't solve, you can go to the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Dynasty and mention it to the Great Demon King. The Great Demon King left after leaving some Saint Spirit stones to the ladies. The Great Demon King had a murderous nature, and he was a bit despicable. However, he had a bottom line. He couldn't do things that hurt the innocent. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao looked at the teleportation array of the Demon Wing clan's monarch's small world. The others continued to search. They had to catch this Demon Wing clan's monarch and kill him. As for Sha Mo in the Shendu city, Yishang planned to ask King Yewu for his opinion later. Inside the Demon Emperor city, Ma Tiantu's face was ashen. He knelt down before Mo Tianji and said, "My lord, the operation failed. Yuan Ji and our people were all killed. That expert was one of them. I don't know how he got into the Sky General region." Failed. Then what's the situation on Sha Mo's side? Mo Tianji's face was as cold as ice. She was so close to success, but it flew away just like that. Sha Mo's doppelganger was killed, but I destroyed his body as soon as I could. I also destroyed everything in the area where his body was. I don't know if they can divine it, Ma Tiantu said. The chances of him surviving are not high, Mo Tianji said coldly. After hearing Ma Tiantu's report, she came to the conclusion that since the human race had sent out so many emperors, this matter would be very important. It would be easy to dig it out. I deserve to die. I'll kill myself to atone for my sins. Ma Tiantu waved his hand and slapped the top of his head. Looking at Ma Tiantu's body, Mo Tianji snorted coldly and left the palace. She was now faced with a choice. Should she continue to search for her original body, or should she merge with her current body? This was a difficult problem for Mo Tianji. If it wasn't her body, the compatibility wouldn't be perfect. After merging, there would be restrictions on her future development. Even if it was 90% compatible, it wouldn't be enough. However, if she didn't merge, she would face the problem of not having much combat power. If she wanted to merge again in the future, it would take a lot of time because she didn't know when there would be a big battle. Most importantly, Mo Tianji was worried that the human race's big shots would discover her relationship with Jun Xuanji and use him to attack her original body's soul. A soul without a body was like a rootless duckweed. If that really happened, she would suffer a great blow. After thinking for a while, Mo Tianji decided to merge with her original body. She would think about the future in the future. After half a month, Pu Luo found and killed the demon-winged race's emperor that was left in the small world. Knight Sorrow went to Yawa Mountain to see Marshal Qingya and reported what had happened. Chapter 1819. Yes, he's the only one left. Knight Sorrow nodded. Sha Mo is being watched by the guardian elders of the divine capital. He can't run away. Marshal Uncle, think about how to deal with him. You have to consider everything, Qingya Wu said. Thank you, Marshal Uncle. Knight Sorrow said with a bow. She's your friend. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left Mo Tianji half dead and never let her recover. Qingya Wu's face was filled with killing intent. The hatred between the Demon Wing clan and the human race was too great. However, he didn't want to make things difficult for Knight Sorrow. Then, can we deal with Mo Tianji without hurting Jun Xuanji? Knight Sorrow asked. With Mo Tianji's cunning, she's probably on guard now. Besides, Jun Xuanji is a human now. We humans have a bottom line. So what if Mo Tianji recovers? She dares to fight. We humans will fight to the end. Qingya Wu's body exploded with towering heaven spear intent. I understand. Yishang finally understood. Even if Jun Xuanji was the reincarnation of Mo Tianji, there were some things that Qingya Wu was unwilling to do because she was a human. Yishang's true body was still in seclusion, and his doppelganger had already left Yiwu Mountain. He knew that this was how Qingya Wu had handled this matter. If it had been the human clan council of elders in Tianhuang City, they would have killed 1,000 innocents rather than let a single one go. Yishang's exile was an example. After returning to the Night Moon Villa, Knight Sorrow felt a little touched. If Jun Xuanji really regained his memories one day, what would the situation be like? With some thoughts, Knight Sorrow arrived at the Humanitarian League headquarters. Lord, what's wrong? Are you not in the mood? Jun Xuanji asked Knight Sorrow to sit down. I don't know what's going on, but I have some thoughts and want to find someone I know to talk to. I'm not an area lord here. I'm just your friend, Knight Sorrow, Knight Sorrow said after sitting down. You can all leave. Jun Xuanji waved at Liu Yu, Sha Mo, and the others, then brought Knight Sorrow to a loft behind the Humanitarian League. Knight Sorrow, what's wrong with you? You're young and promising. You should be high-spirited. You should point your sword at the world. Jun Xuanji took out a jar of wine and placed it in front of Knight Sorrow. She noticed that something was wrong with Knight Sorrow's mood. I just feel a little emotional. Xuanji, how many years have we known each other? Night Sorrow opened the wine jug and poured wine for himself and Jun Xuanji. 170 years. 170 years may be a short moment in the long lifespan of a cultivator, but it's a lifetime for me, Jun Xuanji said. A single life is the same for me. I don't make friends easily. When I make friends, I treat them with sincerity, Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of wine. Thank you for treating me as a friend. Jun Xuanji raised his glass to Night Sorrow. Translator. Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios, as long as you're Jun Xuanji, will be friends for life. Night Sorrow finished the wine in his glass in one gulp. As long as Night Sorrow is here, I'll always be Night Sorrow's friend, Jun Xuanji. Even if the heavens fall and the earth rends, it won't change. Jun Xuanji poured a full glass of wine for Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He felt a little bitter in his heart, but he couldn't say it. Jun Xuanji could be said to be one of his most important friends. The most important thing between friends is understanding and trust. You, Night Sorrow, have done it. Jun Xuanji drank the wine in his glass and poured himself another one. Night Sorrow and Jun Xuanji drank a few jugs of wine, but neither of them got drunk. Night Sorrow, you might be confused, but all I can tell you is that we'll be friends forever, Jun Xuanji said. Night Sorrow stood up and walked outside. After taking a few steps, Night Sorrow looked back at Jun Xuanji. I hope you'll always be Jun Xuanji. Friends rely on each other. In the future, if you're confused, remember your friend, Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow left. Jun Xuanji was a little puzzled, but he was also happy because Night Sorrow was willing to be his friend for life. After returning to Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow took a bath and began practicing his spear. After chatting with Jun Xuanji, Night Sorrow felt a little better. At this time, King Yawu appeared beside the training ground where Night Sorrow was practicing his spear. Because he was focused, he practiced for 2 hours. When Night Sorrow put away his spear, he saw King Yawu. Martial uncle, when did you come? Why didn't you call me? Night Sorrow wiped the sweat from his forehead. King Yawu told Night Sorrow that he had arrived at the Humanitarian League when he was drinking and chatting with Jun Xuanji. He just didn't show up. Martial uncle, I'm sorry. I can't let a friend fall into the abyss and not help him. Night Sorrow said guiltily. Martial uncle understands. That's why you're the merit monarch and others aren't. King Yawu nodded at Night Sorrow. King Yawu had come down to Yawu Mountain to check on Jun Xuanji's situation. When he arrived, Night Sorrow and Jun Xuanji were talking. You're only going to see her because you're sad. But what you don't know is that what you just said will remain in the depths of her soul. Even if she wakes up one day, it will be an indelible memory. Martial Uncle's idea is to strengthen her soul so that her soul will be eternally stable and have her own thoughts. She can exist independently and won't be fused with Mo Tianji. Your approach is very much in line with Martial Uncle's idea, King Yawu said. I see. Then I'll go talk to her every day, Night Sorrow said. King Yawu shook his head. That won't have much effect. How about this? Bring her over and let Martial Uncle talk to her. Night Sorrow returned to the Humanitarian League again and called Jun Xuanji to the Night Moon Villa for a family banquet. Liu Yu and Sha Emo wanted to follow but were stopped by Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow, it seems that something about me has troubled you. But after thinking about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, Jun Xuanji asked, puzzled. You'll understand in a while. Remember, we're friends, Night Sorrow said as he put his arm around Jun Xuanji's shoulder. You're putting your arm around my shoulder? Aren't you afraid that Battle Emperor, Aluo, and the others will be jealous? Jun Xuanji said with a smile. No, not at all. They won't mind because you're Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow shook his head. Since you're not afraid, I'm not afraid either. I noticed that you're in a much better mood. Jun Xuanji turned to look at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. The two entered the Night Moon Villa with their arms around each other's shoulders. Then they went to the waterside pavilion at the back. At this moment, King Yawu and Lin Piaomiao were drinking tea and chatting. Xuanji, let me introduce you. You know Piaomiao. This is my martial uncle, King Yawu. Night Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji. King Yawu, a giant of the human race, the city lord of the divine capital. Jun Xuanji's eyes were filled with shock. He thought that she didn't expect to meet such a big figure. Chapter 1820. Senior King Yawu. What do you want me to do? I dare not disobey. Jun Xuanji said with a bow. I'm not here today as a human overlord, but as Night Sorrow's martial uncle. King Yawu pointed at the chair opposite him and sat down. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Senior, please speak. Although Jun Xuanji didn't know what was going on, he knew that King Yawu, a top human overlord, had come to see him for something big. I won't beat around the bush. Shaimo, who is beside you, is the Demon Wing clan's emperor. He came to you to help you rise because you are a subordinate of a Demon Wing clan's overlord. King Yawu said straightforwardly. Jun Xuanji couldn't help but stand up. His expression changed. How could this be? You're not going to kill me, are you? Sit down first. King Yawu shook his head. Xuanji, martial uncle is here to solve the problem. Night Sorrow helped Jun Xuanji sit down. You are Night Sorrow's friend. Night Sorrow doesn't want you to be hurt, and has been working hard. As his martial uncle, I naturally have to help him. Even if I can solve the problem, there are some things I don't want to do. Now let's talk about your future. First, you will awaken your memories and know that you are someone's subordinate reincarnation. Then, you will merge with the original body and disappear from this world. Second, you will be killed by other human overlords before you can merge with the original body. Third, you will always be yourself, King Yawu said. My lord, I don't want to be killed. I still have dreams. I don't want to be someone's subordinate. I just want to be Jun Xuanji, Jun Xuanji said in a low voice. Since you have made such a decision, I will naturally support you. Apart from the few of us here, the news won't spread. The human clan's council of elders won't make trouble for you, King Yawu said. Will my soul be invaded in the future? Jun Xuanji now understood why Yishang was so worried. If it's a powerful being from the Demon Wing clan, she must have a lot of tricks up her sleeves. There will be many methods, but it's not like I don't have a way. Take this egoism secret art and cultivate it. It will isolate some of the effects on your soul. In the future, it will be very difficult for anyone to affect your soul. You have to be firm in yourself. Remember, you are Jun Xuanji. King Yawu took out an ancient book and handed it to Jun Xuanji. Jun Xuanji thanks my lord. If I can strengthen myself, I will come again to thank my lord. Jun Xuanji stood up and bowed deeply to King Yawu. This concerns the human race. I will not sit by and do nothing. Don't resist. I will help you place a seal in your spirit sea. As for the damage, if you are some almighty who wants to fuse with his spirit, then I am sorry. I will not allow the Demon Wing clan to stir up trouble. If you are Jun Xuanji, then there is no problem at all, King Yawu said. Sir, please cast the spell, Jun Xuanji said without any hesitation after sitting down. King Yawu stretched out his hands. As his fingers danced, a spinning energy formation disc appeared in the air. The formation disc was filled with rhythmic runes. Night Sorrow, use the human emperor's seal to imbue it with the human emperor's power, King Yawu shouted to Night Sorrow. Yishang took out the human emperor's seal and used the power of virtue to activate it. He sent a beam of energy towards the disc array. Only by using the power of virtue to activate the human emperor's seal could the energy emitted be called the power of the human emperor. The energy emitted by the human emperor's seal contained golden runes. It was the sacred scripture of the human Tao, the book of Taoism. King Yawu completed the formation disc and pressed down with his right hand, pressing the disc into Jun Xuanji's spirit sea. Thank you, my lord. Night Sorrow, I have made you worry about me, Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow after bowing to King Yawu. I didn't want anything to happen to you, so I was worried. Now I am relieved, Night Sorrow said. I knew something was wrong when I saw that you were absent-minded, but I couldn't guess what it was. Sir Battle Emperor, have you dealt with the Demon Wing Sovereign Emperor? I don't want things to mess with my mind. Night Sorrow, I plan to return to the 9-domain world. She wants to succeed, but I won't accept my fate. I can stay in the 9-domain world forever. She can't go anyway. Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow. There is no need to escape. What will come sooner or later. Cultivators are not afraid of any challenges. King Yewu didn't support Jun Xuanji's idea of returning to the 9-domain world. Then I'll face it bravely. If one day I can't take it anymore, or if I change, Yishang, I hope that you'll end me and send me home. Jun Xuanji said as he looked at Yishang. Everything will pass. Night Sorrow turned and hugged Jun Xuanji. Night Sorrow then asked Lin Piaomiao to send Jun Xuanji back and deal with Sha Mo. After Jun Xuanji and Lin Piaomiao left, Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for King Yewu. Thank you for your hard work, Martial Uncle. Not at all. This is the first time Martial Uncle fought with Mo Tianji. She lost completely, because she has no chance of fusing with Mo Tianji. Martial Uncle tricked her. King Yewu said with a smile. No chance of fusing with Mo Tianji? Night Sorrow was stunned. Yes, Mo Tianji has no chance of absorbing Jun Xuanji's soul. Jun Xuanji's future will either belong to him or be annihilated, King Yewu said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was already a merciful method. If it was some other radical human race sect elder, they might have destroyed Jun Xuanji. Tell Lin Piaomiao about this. Let's stop here. We will talk about the future in the future. King Yewu reminded Night Sorrow. I understand, Martial Uncle. Why didn't you teach me the solipsistic secret technique? Night Sorrow asked. You want to learn everything. Is your Tao heart unstable? You have cultivated the high heaven spear art, and the spear intent in your heart is soaring to the sky. Who can shake your will? King Yewu said with a smile. So that's the case. Then I will work hard to cultivate the high heaven spear art, Night Sorrow said embarrassedly. Cultivation techniques are created. Whoever creates them will naturally be most suitable for that person. Taking other people's cultivation techniques is just a reference. Do you understand what Martial Uncle means? King Yewu looked at Yishang and asked. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Whether it is the high heaven spear art or the immemorial spear art, they only have artistic conception. In other words, they can only open a window for you. As for what kind of door it opens, it is up to you. Actually, Martial Uncle is looking forward to it. King Yewu stood up and left in 2 flashes. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that there was no need to see Jun Xuanji now. He should give Jun Xuanji a chance to calm down. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Lin Piaomiao returned. How was it? Night Sorrow asked Lin Piaomiao. Chapter 1821. Then I'm relieved. We don't have to worry about this at this stage, Night Sorrow said. With Martial Uncle's help, Mo Tianji shouldn't be able to do anything. Lin Piaomiao nodded. King Yewu's name had been passed down for a few eras. Lin Piaomiao knew him very well. Carrot B knew you knew J fastest G up or this storm is over. I've been nervous for a while, Night Sorrow said with a sigh. How should we deal with the Sky General bounded area? How should we split the benefits? Lin Piaomiao sat opposite Night Sorrow. She cleaned the teapot and started making tea. Sister Xian I think it's better to take out the Sky General bounded area, Night Sorrow said to Lin Piaomiao. Lin Piaomiao nodded and signaled for Night Sorrow to continue. Night Sorrow meant that the elders of the Humanitarian League had all contributed. They wanted to take out the Sky General bounded area as a base for the Humanitarian League. Sure. We're husband and wife. You can make the decision for us. I'm not interested in fighting for territory. If I was, I would have wiped out the surrounding forces long ago, Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Lin Piaomiao didn't care about this. She hadn't asked about the ethereal kingdom for many years. Developing forces and fighting for territory were usually done by middle-level cultivators. It was to gather resources for the rise. Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, and Pu Luo didn't care about this. Of course, Night Sorrow didn't care either. He didn't lack resources either. No emperor dared to say that they had more resources than Night Sorrow. After making the decision, the two of them went to Night Moon Villa's hall. They called Pu Luo and Great Demon King, who had rushed back from the Ethereal Kingdom's region. Alliance Master doesn't speak easily. You gathered everyone here. Is something the matter? Yuzhu said as she trimmed her nails. Yes. The Sky General bounded area has been taken down. Now it's time to rule and manage it. You have to send someone out, Night Sorrow said. Who are we sending? Reese asked, confused. In the future, the domain will become a base for the Humanitarian League. Naturally, it will need to be managed. If you don't send people, how are you going to manage it? Night Sorrow asked. Night Sorrow, the Ethereal Dynasty is stabilizing the situation there. Let's give it to the Ethereal Dynasty. The Heavenly General region is also within the Ethereal Dynasty. Besides, everyone is just killing each other. They didn't do much, so no one will mind. The Great Demon King, who had been resting with his eyes closed on the recliner, opened his eyes. That's a different matter. With the bounded domain as a shield, no matter what kind of war happens, there's a guarantee. Send some people to report to the Humanitarian League headquarters, Night Sorrow said. Since Night Sorrow had said so, the others did not object. A realm that could not be forcibly entered without a teleportation array was extremely safe. It was extremely difficult to set up a teleportation array between the Celestial Realm and the bounded domain, just like the Celestial Realm and the Chaotic Realm. If Night Sorrow had not passed through the extremely difficult-to-find passage, he would not have been able to enter the Celestial Realm. Even though there were many experts in the Celestial Realm, the origin of the realm had a self-protective consciousness. You could destroy it, but it was impossible to pass through the spatial barrier. Aside from special reasons such as the passage, the teleportation array was set up by cultivators under King by chance. Yuan Ji, for example, ran to the Heavenly General region to control the teleportation array. It was extremely difficult for Tsongning to kill him. The Heavenly Saint Emperor entered the small world. Even the Great Demon King could not kill him. Now that we have a firm foothold in the fairies' capital, something should be settled. Night Sorrow, when do you plan to deal with the White Emperor City and the Haitian dynasty? Puluo asked. Puluo, shouldn't we stop for a while? Otherwise, people will think that we are too good at jumping around and can't do anything big, the Great Demon King said. Yes, I also suggest that we stabilize and develop. Our Humanitarian League's territory and influence are big enough. Lin Piaomiao also expressed her opinion. Other than the current situation, she felt that Night Sorrow also needed to calm down. 2 years later, Night Sorrow would participate in the vanguard battle of the 100 Races Alliance. He needed to improve his strength. I have a feeling that the situation is not very stable. The Black Dragon's elder went to the Tianhuang city, and the Demon Wing clan used some means to send their clansmen here. This indicates that something big is going to happen, the Great Demon King said. That's true. You, Elder Lin, and Fun Tian have just passed the Emperor Tribulation. There is a lot of room for improvement. Strength determines ability. If you can improve, do it. If we have the strength to fight side by side, we will be invincible, Puluo said while rubbing his hands. His pair of iron fists had once made great contributions to the human race. After chatting for a while, Puluo stood up and walked out of the mansion's hall. Is there anyone going to the ethereal imperial city for tea? I like to drink tea and not pay the bill. Reese and Yuzhu followed with laughter. It was convenient to have the emperor-level teleportation portal. They had to go to the Twilight Tea House again. However, Night Sorrow had already told Chun Chun about their situation. That's too despicable. One person is despicable, and now there are 2 more of them. Lin Piaomiao shook her head helplessly. The 3 of them have been through life and death together. So if Puluo calls, they will definitely follow, the Great Demon King said. If I didn't already know, I wouldn't believe it if others told me that Puluo is the elder of the human clan's Council of Elders. Night Sorrow shook his head with a smile because in his eyes, Puluo was a wanton, carefree, and sunny man. You can't tell, right? In terms of popularity, no one is better than Puluo in the human clan's Council of Elders. Let me put it this way. If Puluo is in trouble and asks for help, many people will be willing to help. This is something that the other elders can't compare to, the Great Demon King said. What about you? Night Sorrow looked at the Great Demon King and asked. Do I need to ask for help? I have a brother, but he never shows himself in front of people. The great Demon King smiled confidently, because he could solve the problem by himself. I have brothers too. I don't know how they are now, and whether they will still recognize me as their brother in the future. At the mention of brothers, Night Sorrow thought of Tianyu and Long Jin. They were all brothers who had gone through life and death together. Night Sorrow, brotherhood is not divided by race. The Golden Dragon clan and the Cyan Rock clan are on the same side as the human clan. When they return to their families, they will awaken the memories of their race, but some things are already buried deep in their souls. Brothers are for life. The Great Demon King threw a jar of wine to Night Sorrow. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.